hello. I am Matthew Orr, and you have found your way to the Rook and Rasp Season 5 Seriously Let's Play channel. And I'm joined by a whole bunch of people here, and we're going to play some Garbage and Glory today. And so I'm going to have everybody introduce. First of all, thank you for Rook and Rasp for hosting this game. John's in the chat in the background being our tech support, so thank you, John. Thank you to everybody else who makes Rook and Rasp a thing. You guys are awesome in the industry for shining spotlight on indie games, indie creators like myself and the other people who made Garbage and Glory. So thank you guys. Happy to be here. I want to have my players today, some of whom I've met like less than an hour ago, say hello. So again, I'm Matt. I'll be running the game. I'm the narrator. Who else we got on the channel today? Somebody jump in.
Hey, my name is Sean, and I'm playing Rufus.
Rufus.
Hi, I'm Ezra, and I'm going to be
Ezra.
playing Gerald, the sticky little raccoon.
Excellent.
I'm
Mike-
Kyle O'Brien.
Kyle's
and
gonna
I
go
will
first.
be and I will be playing Toronto Rabdos, Dumpster Diviner.
Toronto. That was an inspired name, Kyle.
Piranha.
Oh, I'm sorry, Toronto. I thought you said Toronto. I was like, oh well.
There is no second T.
sorry. Michael, I'll be playing Torg, the disposal expert today.
Torg. And what? Ezra, I missed what your character's name was. It was Gerald.
Gerald.
All right. And we are going to learn some more about these players in just a little bit, or the characters, the characters. So I think we should just jump right in. We can explain. I explained the rules a little bit. We talked a little bit about lines and veils. If anything comes up, we can figure it out as we go. But for the setting, okay, you are a group of raccoons. The collective noun for raccoons is a mask. So you guys are a mask together. You have been on some adventures together. You've got some experience under your belts. You're not like fresh out of the tree hole, right? You've been adventuring in these mean streets for a little while, together as a group. In fact, you've just pulled off like a pretty primo heist, and there was a I mean, you could add the further details, but basically you guys stole an entire garbage bin, and it has been sliding downhill through streets and sparks flying, knocking things out of the way, and it's slid now at the bottom of this hill to a stop, and you have stolen an entire garbage bin full of trash. So like you guys have completed this amazing accomplishment, and I want you to tell me, introduce your character. What role have you played? Your character. What have each of your raccoons contributed to this amazing accomplishment that you've stolen in this whole trash bin full of trash? So introduce us now to your characters. Why don't we go in the same order, Sean? Why don't you tell us about Rufus?
So, Rufus Scalebreaker is the mask's heavy, both literally and figuratively. This is probably the biggest raccoon you've ever seen. He is massive. He's got a red bandana tied around his forehead, which kind of defies physics and logic, but you know what? It works for him. Carries a sawed-off cow femur as his club. He had to saw it off. It wasn't too heavy for him. It was just really unwieldy, so he had to shorten it just a little bit.
Sure.
And basically, his contribution to this heist was, if it was in front of him, he'd just go through it. Doors, locks, windows, nothing. Just smashes right through it for him.
Love it.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Gerald.
You want to?
Yeah.
Let's popcorn this around, maybe. Or we
Okay.
just let's go in the Anyway, you said the order. We're just gonna go in the order, like Matthew said.
Okay. Gerald is this like kind of scrawnier looking raccoon, kind of the opposite of the opposite. And he's kind of like he's more dexterous and I kind of pictured Gerald like surfing down this hill on the top of this trash bin the entire time, like trying to like hold on and like go down. And how he contributed was initially how he got the trash bin going is he collected all these bananas and he threw them in front of the trash bin so it could like
Mm,
get the trajectory going.
excellent. Using the environment, knowing your tools, love it.
Yeah.
All right. So Tirana is neither the biggest the biggest raccoon, nor the scrawniest. Somewhere in a stout middle. But he is very, very round, whereas the others are maybe more musculature. This one, it's hard to tell which side he's facing sometimes because he is almost completely spherical. Um, and he is also old. He is the oldest of the
Mm.
mask, by a good measure. He has seen coming up 7 winters, but he is still able to keep up mostly with the younger members of his group. He helped with distraction. The dumpster was being guarded by a beast of terrible fright. It was orange and green, and it reflected light like the gates of hell itself. And it was called the guy emptying the bin behind the store. However, by rearing,
You're a very experienced. I'm going to interrupt just a little bit and add
yeah,
some flavor. Most people call these creatures ogres that are closely associated with the trash, but you're wise enough to know that they're like maybe you're beginning to understand that like there's a relationship. They don't just guard the trash. They kind of like maybe they kind of are responsible for it in a weird way, but then they're the relationship is deeper there than just that they're these implacable guardians of the trash. So I'm just going to throw that in there for
as
you.
as I thought, all things serve the pile. Um, as I waddled up to him, I gave him the old pup eyes, holding my little staff of chimes and charms in my mouth. Distracted him long enough for my friend Gerald to start chucking banana peels. Where he got them, I'm not sure. And then we started on our merry escapade.
Wonderful.
It took me a bit to get into the dumpster as it was picking up speed, though. But I managed it.
Excellent. And Michael, finally, around to you. Tell us about
I think
what.
I think Torg's contribution to this little heist was that he was able to round up a few of the neighborhood strays and using his bow lash them to the edge to the end of the dumpster itself, causing the strays to pull the dumpster into the banana peel pile and
Mm,
really get that momentum going. He freed the strays with a stroke of his sword once the dumpster itself started to move, pick up some speed. No need to get those poor dumb brainless strays injured in the
so
process.
so were you more of a was this more of a charm offensive or more of like a command? Did you get them riled up and or
Uh,
were you kind of convincing them gently to do what you wanted? Oh, you'll get the benefit of the whatever. Like
I
was your
think I like to think that Torg tried to do a little Braveheart, like he rounded the strays up and tried to do a little bit of a speech to like rise them or
mm,
kind of get them
okay,
riled up.
okay.
But I think the speech failed, and then he ended up just throwing them some food.
I mean, most things in the world as are food motivated, I think.
Yeah, so
So
I think the food really gave him the opportunity to tie the leads to the dogs, and then yeah.
Oh no,
Right.
I've had this convergence now of heckin' good doggos and garbage and glory intersecting in a weird way.
You
It's
know, maybe
canon.
one of those dogs may have been a big husky. Who knows?
It's the, let us finish the game first, and then we'll talk about the crossovers.
Oh boy.
We've Anyway, we've got a few crossovers that possible.
I think I like
for-
to think too, as this garbage this bin is like rolling,
Mhm.
maybe that Torg was up on top of the bin with Gerald and maybe using his bow to try and like lash corners to so like trying to lash as the garbage bin is approaching a corner, he's like trying to pin the bow or pin an arrow into the ground and into the bin so that they can kind of like tighten the corners that the bin can take.
Just imagining the momentum involved and
Yeah, right.
compensating for that with your bow skills.
You know,
Yeah,
his sword is a former kitchen knife, a large kitchen knife, and then the bow is made of actually a child's Nerf bow that's been restrung.
nice. I love it. All right, so now th- amazing work, everyone. You've accomplished this great thing. You've got all this trash. And I'm gonna give you like a bunch of bonus trash. So like this is an amazing accomplishment. I've on the card tabletop that we've got in the background here. You each should have a stack of cards. It's got 10 total cards. That is your maximum hand size. There's a lot of garbage cards in that stack. So go and each grab one of those stacks. If you see the tiny little number, you can actually grab it by the number and put it down in your player sheet there. So garbage cards represent physical, actual pieces of trash that you've recovered. In your case, you've got a lot of garbage cards in your stack because you just heisted all this garbage out of this trash. There is very quickly make sure that I remember them correctly for the storytelling purposes. So garbage cards, spades are any of your sharp stuff, broken glass, kitchen knives, nails, anything that's sharp. Hearts are anything soft, rubber, string, cloth. Diamonds are something unique. So either like a really weird fruit, or maybe a bike reflector that like flashes, or a CD that again it's got that sparkly shimmeriness to it, something shiny, very interesting, very unique. And then clubs are any sort of like hard metal, wood, heavy plastic objects like that. So that's the garbage you've recovered. If you want to use it later in the game to like, oh, I need to assemble a rope ladder, that's going to require some soft trash to assemble a rope ladder. If you want to like, oh, I want to make a trap, you might need one piece of soft trash and like a piece of sharp trash to actually be the like grip the smashing jaws or whatever. What if you're trying to use the trash in the game to make an item real quick, it's going to have to fit the theme of the items you have. So like, just keep that in mind as you're looking at what you have for your different suits.
And how many are we allowed to pull?
So you should have a stack. I made stacks across the table there it should be 10. You should each have a stack of 10 cards total because that's the maximum hand size. And it should have, I think, 3 glory and like 7 garbage in it.
I saw 2 stacks of 10.
So
And
probably some other people have grabbed
Okay.
theirs already.
All right.
And you can grab the number that's in the right side to grab the whole stack.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Yeah.
That makes it a lot easier. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So you've also got some glory in there. You get glory when you do cool things, heroic things, amazing. That's worth a glory card. You do something heroic, or you might have to. They represent more like sort of inner motivations a little bit. I will read you from the quick start card what those represent very quickly. Spades is any sort of legacy. Hearts is a personal desire, a passion. Diamonds is a possession. That is a motivating force. Clubs is your community, friends and family. So again, when you spend a garbage card, or I'm sorry, when you spend a glory card to do something, I may ask you to like describe why that suit is what is motivating you to do this. So if you are like, I'm going to discard the spade card to negate this damage on an attack, like, why does thinking about legacy motivate you in that moment? You know, it's this, or you can offer that up. I'm going to give up this glory card that relates to these things for these reasons, right? Unfortunately, it's not all good, because glory cards that are the jokers, I guess if you draw a joker from the glory deck, that is bad fate, and everybody loses a glory card when that happens. So if you've got any in the opening round, that's okay. But like next time, now that we're starting to draw glory cards, that may come up as a bad fate. So watch out for bad fate on glory. Anyway, so you have heisted all this trash. You've got a bunch of stuff. So let me tell you what some stuff that happens. That as you're pulling through these bags of these plastic sheetings, collecting the fragments that are in this giant green dumpster that's now like it's almost like welded to the street with the way that it's like the momentum and the like it slid down the hill and just kind of really attached itself there, pushing up some of the very tar-based dirt that the ogres seem to cover the entire landscape with. You collected your trash, and then you start to notice a couple things. One is that there's some ogres that are like here around, like you've slid into the middle of, this is still the turns, which is the name that the raccoons have for the passageways between the giant straight-walled constructions of ancient times that everybody seems to inhabit. So there's people around. They notice this grand chariot of trash has arrived in their midst, and they're kind of like looking, and they've got their jackets on, and they've got coverings. You see like a shiny black ogre and a big puffy pink ogre, and they're kind of standing together looking at like what's going on. And the other thing that you see is there's some blue. There's a very piercing sort of screaming sound coming from the distance. Add some blue and red flashing lights that are ricocheting, reflecting down the hallway. This sort of like roar, 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 sort of noise is coming. Something's approaching. It sounds dangerous and scary. You may not want to hang around here too long, is the point that I'm getting at. And the other thing that I'm going to throw out there is that, like, in all this operation, this has taken you pretty far from the streets that you know. You don't know where you are now. Like, you didn't like leave into the wilds and go into another turns. But you don't know where you are. You are fully loaded, far from home, and there's something scary coming down the way. So I think it's to you guys as to what you want to do to address this situation. What's your first move from this point?
So Rufus got slightly left behind. He wasn't able to scramble on top of the garbage can. So
Okay.
he's about 45 seconds behind them digging into it. So as everybody's watching, they're going to see this rather rotund raccoon scurrying slightly out of breath. Guys, there's something horrible coming.
What do you mean?
Don't you hear it?
Oh,
I don't know if it's
coming
the
closer.
ogres or not, but just stuff everything you can. We gotta go.
when is it never the ogres? It's always the. All right, let's go. Let's get out of here.
All right. Would I be
Yes.
able to
Let us away.
Ah, yes. Would I be able to see if I know what that sound is from my many years of dealing with ogres and their kind?
Absolutely. I think this is I mean, beyond the like general bad vibes that it immediately communicates, I think you definitely have some experience. I think I'm trying to decide if I even need to make you roll a roll for that. I mean, this is give me a lore roll, and that will be the most like you know as far as like deep information or whatever. That's what you want to roll. So as this is our first skill roll of the session, I'm going to quickly explain skill rolls for anybody watching. You start with this +1 system uses a d6 dice pool. So you're going to start with a number of d6s equal to your lore training stat, whatever that is. It may be 0, 1, 2, 3, and that's your starting dice pool. And then on the other side of your character sheet, you have your bronze smarts and guts. Lore is a smarts skill, so you will be able to +1 up that initial dice pool based on your attribute of smarts, which is the one that's connected to lore. So there's 4 things you can do with your each point of your attribute. You can do 4 things. You can buy skills you don't have, which doesn't apply because you said you already got 1. You can buy more dice in the skill roll. After you actually roll your dice, then you can add pips to dice that have been rolled. So you can make a 4 into a 5. You could make a 3 into a 5 with 2 points of your attribute. And the last thing you can do is once per attempt, you can re-roll your failures and hope for a better success. So those are the 4 things you can do with your attributes. You can spend them however you want, as far as that is, whatever it needs. Like, basically the question is, do I buy dice now or do I hope to make it up on the back end of the skill roll? So I think this is going to be I don't think we have a name for it, but it's called there's an open roll. There's no target number, just how many lore points how many successes on lore can you get to know greater or lesser amounts of information. So if you want to make a lore roll, see what you can know about this terrifying sound and light show that you can all observe.
All right, this is the most clear and pressing problem that we are dealing with. So I'm going to roll 3 dice using 2 of my smarts attributes.
Right. And that does not like reduce your smarts attribute. It's just how many you can use per roll.
Oh, okay, because that was going to be my next question is
Yeah,
when do I get those back?
Yeah, it's not like a gumshoe system where you've spent those. It's like every roll you get to use your current thing. You can take damage in those attributes, and those will reduce, and that obviously reduces your capacity. But you don't spend them by using them in this way.
Okay. I got one 1, 2, and 1 5.
All right. So that is 1 success for the 5. The 2 and the 1 are failures. If you've got 1 point of smarts left, you could re-roll the 1 and the 2 to try and get the 5 and 6. Or if you're out of points, you're out of points. You got 1 success on the roll.
I'll just stick with this because I think it's funnier this way. Like the blood is still rushing in my ears from me trying to hop into the dumpster. So I'm only half hearing what's going on as I'm trying to get my heart rate back under control.
Sure. And you're a raccoon of a certain age. It's tough. So I think with 1 success, you just know that these are the kind of this is not unknown, right? This just always means trouble. This is always sort of like any sort of like you associate it with like any sort of like problem in the turns, like if a building falls down, if the fire hydrants break open and there's water spraying everywhere, like these lights are drawn to the just mess. Like it is you don't really know what happens after that. You can't call it to mind, but like for sure these things are drawn to problems. This sort of phenomenon you've seen before. So apparently sliding a giant dumpster down a hill is a problem that these lights are attracted to.
Some people are so sensitive these days. So those are the ogre's howling hounds. They come when there is issues. We must leave. They will not leave us much left.
Right.
Let them come. I've dealt with the hounds before.
I've been in their cages before.
You're big enough.
Well, they took me when I was younger. They caught
Explains
me.
a lot.
They caught me in a garbage been, and some men came with a stick with a hoop, and they threw me in the back of a cave, and it shook, and then I ended up in a cage, and they weren't very nice.
Not the first I've heard such a tale, and it is more common than you may think, my friends.
Well, that won't be us today.
Yeah, I'd like to try and see him use that stick on me now. And kind of smack my club against my paw.
Whoa.
Well, do we
All
face
right.
the hounds or do we run?
Oh, we run. I run it. I vote run.
I will follow where the mask leads, for it is always our kind to follow the leaders, which is not me.
I'm
Thank
definitely
the
not the
pile.
leader.
I think it's a little too open out here. We need the narrows of the, what was it called? I'm sorry, above the table.
Oh, the turns.
Yeah, we need the narrow of the terms if we're going to defeat it.
Mhm.
Then let us away.
All right. So I'm going to turn to the disposal expert, who is the sort of like maybe the most familiar with wayfinding and whatever. Like, what is your? I already said that you don't really know where you are, but what's your instinct direction to go here? Why don't you take the narration for just a second and describe the where you head,
Um,
where you lead the group.
So Torg's instinct always is to get higher, right?
Hmm.
Let's get as far from the ground as possible. So Torg's looking upward for any, you know, any ways of traversing upward, whether that be, the drain pipe, or whether that be an old, broken fire escape, or what have you, something to get the group off the ground, off the pavement, off the blacktop, as it were.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
so I think probably looking at I'm going to use smarts, and we'll use yeah, I'll do my smarts, and I'll do lore for the area. Does that work?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't necessarily calling for a skill roll. I was just saying
Oh,
you
okay.
just
Yeah.
describe. I think
Yeah.
you had
Yeah, so
the
I think
relevant calling to describe what happens next.
yeah,
So
so I think
yeah.
yeah, what happens is I think that like Torg leads the group over to one of the drain pipes coming down off of the structures nearby, and starts scaling up the drain pipe, makes a short jump over to the edge of a fire escape, and then leads the group up a set of stairs, up like two sets of stairs to a low rooftop, um, to try to avoid the ogres and their hounds.
Yeah. Great. I love it. So
I
this
have, I
is
have the
the
image of like the moon, and like a couple of raccoons like running along the edge of a roof.
excellent. All right. So you have now left the turns. You're now on the upways. It's similar in that I mean it's very similar in that, like, instead of like being at the bottom of a canyon, now you're there's just chasms everywhere, but it's similar sort of flat landscapes. You can see a lot more of the sky. The night sky is out there. Certain bright lights in the sky. What those you've seen those before. And yeah, there's like a whole, it's like a different, you feel more of the air up here. You feel more of the sight lines are better, obviously, but it's a landscape of little, there's all kinds of objects that are up here, constructions of various kinds, but they're much smaller. The boxes and the air conditioners and the water tanks, right? But the boxes of metal and the like cupolas of crafted objects or whatever, it's a more understandable scale for creatures of your stature. All right, so you're up there. Unless anybody doesn't want to climb up the water pipe. I mean, like this is, look, you got it. You're tired now, right? Because you got to climb up the water pipe, the staircase. You're lugging all this trash.
I
But at
can
least
already feel the ache in my paws.
you feel a little safer, though. You feel a little safer. Okay, so now you got to set out. I mean, you
Your
gotta
paws
get
will
back home.
your paws will hurt more if they're chewed. Ha! Your paws will hurt more if they're chewed on. Get your move on.
I sigh because he's right, but he doesn't have to say it. So I just climb up, and we got one paw in front of the other, just like the song says.
That's
All
right.
right.
Excellent.
Rufus is gonna point at some pigeons and be like, "Watch your garbage; they'll steal it."
Oh, they will. They will. In fact, I think you are gonna have to like. It's almost as if you pointing it out. It's like it's like the two groups almost like recognize each other immediately. Like as almost as soon as you like point out that the rest of the mask should watch out for these things, they're already like looking at you and like they're doing their little bobbing head walk thing and they're like kind of moving in your direction. Like 4 or 5 of them, right? Like these are like they're just kind of like, what's going on? What's this? What are you doing up in here on the roof, on our roof? You can't come into our turf like this. Like maybe and they're like one of them's like flapping, a couple of them.
What was
they're
that?
like-
What was
Why
that, Matthew?
the
What, no, what was
couples
that?
in the
What was that move?
they're flapping. They're like making their bodies bigger, because they're a little bit smaller than you all, but they're
Oh.
bigger and they're puffing up their chest feathers. And yeah, they're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You got a little. You can't just come up here. You got a little something for us? A little something for us, or you want us to?
Oh, I'm so
want me
sorry.
sh-
We didn't realize that we went into the Jets territory.
So yeah, I mean there's definitely like, I don't think you guys are exactly scared by these pigeons, but there are like you're like, the longer this goes on, there might be more of them. There's only like
I think. Sorry, go ahead, Sean.
I was gonna say, you said you said one of them was like puffing up.
yeah.
So
There's one in front, and then a couple of them are behind, kind of enforcing the like yeah we're tough guys.
So I have the skill in flame, so I can use that
Oh, yeah.
for like to buff up our group or make our group inspired. But can it be used to intimidate, or is that only to get them
Yeah.
to?
It's
Okay, I'd like
yeah.
when he starts to puff up, I kind of step forward to and just pull out the club and be like, "Come on, I haven't had a fight all day."
It's
Excellent,
true. He
excellent.
hasn't.
So great. So I think yeah, if you want to, let me find a stat block real quick.
You don't want to mess with him.
No, they want to mess with me.
Yeah, I mean they do want you're all you're messing with each other at this point. So yeah, why don't you I mean, okay, so why don't they don't have a very high rating in these things. So it's not going to be hard to rile them up. They're already like already sort of like ready for they were just waiting for something to do. And so they're here. So if you want to roll in flame, and you only need like a success on this roll to try and like accomplish your riling them up. But then I'm going to ask you, what are you trying to do with that?
All right, so I have the potential. So I rolled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 2 successes. Used my
Okay.
last gut for a re-roll, so I've got the full 5 successes.
Oh wow. All right. So yeah, I mean,
Wow.
you like I said, you only needed one. They were like
Right.
they were kind of already there. So what do with a success like that, what are you're in command of the situation, right? What do you want them to do?
I'm trying to get them to scatter.
Okay.
And so that one that's in the lead,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of swing the golf club around, take 2 steps, and I kind of Happy Gilmore that pigeon off the roof.
All right. I think that's pretty great. And I think I'm going to rule of cool into there that's like sort of a surprise round kind of action thing. And yeah, I think that is, I think that has happened. I wish you would. And you rush in and you punt this guy up into the air. This bird, you punt this bird off of this roof. Yeah. So I'm going to ask the rest of you. So I don't think there's a lot of birds around, and you know birds. Like it doesn't matter where you are. Like they can show up surprisingly. So I think I'm going to throw it to the rest of you and ask like what. So Rufus has started this fight, but what are the rest of you going to do? So is this we'll do initiative. So if you want to show a card, you can win initiative. So you're kind of acting out of initiative like before things start, Rufus. But if the rest of you, any card that you want to show, this isn't playing this card, this isn't revealing. You only have to reveal it to or somebody's going to show the highest card. So if you want to take a card from your deck and lay it out on the table, show it, somebody's going to have the highest card. And ace is high for the thing. And it doesn't matter whether it's garbage or glory. You lay it out. So somebody's got a jack. So that is definitely that's the highest card I've seen put out. So somebody's got a jack. You're going to win initiative. So who was that put out the jack?
That was
It's
Rufus.
you?
Yeah.
All right. So you have one initiative, and what that means for a +1 game is that you get to decide who goes first. So you've started this fight by knocking their front man off the roof.
Which I was trying to do to intimidate them. Did that do anything to their?
Well, I
Or
mean,
just cause a surprise round.
I think because you described it as like you attacked him and knocked him off the roof, I think you've gone further than intimidation.
Okay.
You've initiated a fight. So basically, this
Okay.
is like what I'm thinking is that like you guys can all act in this round. I mean, this fight may not last long, depending on how impressive you all choose to be. You could also all sort of be like trying to calm him down. I don't know how the rest of you are going to react. That's why I'm seeing who has initiative in this situation. So you win initiative, so you can decide who goes first. Yourself, one of these birds, any of your other mask members. You decide who goes first.
I think I'm going to look at Gerald, right? It'd be like,
Yeah.
I think you can take one. Go for it.
All right. So this has been thrown to you. There's a bunch of birds. Rufus has thrown one of these birds off the roof, which it probably didn't kill him, because he's a bird. You'll probably see him in a second. But he's like giving you the it's your turn. So are you in for a fight here, or you want to de-escalate? I don't know. What does Gerald want to do?
Gerald follows Rufus. So he
Mm.
like from his back, he like pulls out a bow, which he saw oh gosh, what's your character, Michael? Gorg. How he made it. So he kind of like copied it and he's like, ooh, I knew, oh yeah, I did it, but he didn't. He just followed. He pulls it out. He pulls it and he's like, oh, get ready. You're not ready for this. And he's gonna fire at one of them.
Excellent. All right. So use your that's going to be a hurl roll.
Okay.
Using the hurl skill. That's the equivalent of that's the ranged skill to hurl something. So you're going to use that. The target number that you need to get to, I am now looking at just 2.
Just 2. Okay.
Yeah, cuckoos aren't very they're little. They're more of a menace than or more of an annoyance than a menace.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. Oh no. Okay. So I got I got 1 success with a 5.
All right. So you managed to, as you've described it, you set me up for this. Like I think you described it as copying Torg's bow, and like I imagine you've made it in the form, but it is not necessarily built for the function of what you're trying to do. And I imagine this kind of does like you draw this bow back, you've made these arrows, and it kind of like you get more of like a like you kind of like pull the string right off of it, whatever you've used for that rope. Like this is what I'm imagining is like a pink balloon that is like the string here, and you just kind of like it's like this, and you pull it back, and it just kind of like now you got a floppy piece of rubber in your hand, and this whatever you've made as an arrow kind of goes off in the direction of the birds, but not really effective. You've missed hitting your target. So you get to choose who goes next. Is it any of these birds that are on the roof? Is it one of your other people in the group?
Ooh, okay. A funny little addition to that is I want the arrow to like fly right over Rufus's head. So like Rufus gave me like the go, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready, and poof, right over the head, and I was like, "Oh,
The cuckoos are over there.
You feel it. You feel it on your little
Phew.
raccoon head. You know,
whoopsie!"
just the
And
Thought you were-
I look,
I thought you've been practicing.
I look over at Torg, and I'm like, "Torg, I thought you made your bow right." Well, maybe okay, maybe that was me.
I did. And Torg will sigh and pull an arrow off of his back. The arrow it's not like a piercing arrow, it's got like a lump, like it's got like a fishing lure on the end, like a fishing weight, like a lead from
nice.
a fishing line.
nice. Yeah.
He's got that on the end of the bow, and he'll knock that and fire it at one of the birds, one of the
Okay.
pigeons.
Yeah. Roll that hurl roll, and the target number is only 2.
My guts is pretty high. Target number is 2, 1, 2, 3, 3 successes.
All right. Well, that's enough. And I don't. And just a quick rules thing. I don't remember what the augments are for a bow.
It just I don't necessarily see an augment per se. I just see
Yeah.
that it's 1d3.
Yeah. Because you have an extra success. You only needed 2. When you have
Okay.
extra successes, sometimes you can get a bonus on your attack. But I can check real quick. But I don't remember what that is for the bow offhand. But yeah, you can definitely deal your damage.
I don't think our quick start guide has that.
That might be true. That's the
So, can I ask a question real quick?
yeah.
Since we're talking about augments, so like my club does 2 damage, then it says +1 damage, and in parentheses 1. So
Right.
is that what you're talking about? If I get
Yes.
more successes, okay.
Right. So you, in this case, 2 is the target number. Michael rolled 3 successes. So if the bow had a 1 cost augment, you could activate that. And it does, but you have to also activate another one to do it. So yeah, the standard augments for the bow are 3 to roll 1d6 instead of doing 1d3. So it would do double damage if you get 3 extra successes. That's the augment for a bow. So you don't have enough for that.
No,
but yes,
I don't.
For you, for the club, it is that 1 extra damage for only 1 extra success for you, Sean. Okay, so we checked that. So you got 2 successes. You hit the bird. This bird is staggered. It is like, gets hit by this lead weight and just bowled over by it. It's sort of like a dramatic sort of like. I mean, you see it like its body sort of like fold in half, and its feet go up in the air, and then it's on the ground, and its feet are just kind of doing a little shibby as it like lays on the ground, like kind of stunned. You've definitely flopped it good. All right, who's going next? You get to choose who goes next.
I think we'll stick with the party line, and we'll look over to our remaining raccoon.
All right. Tirana will pick up one of the feathers that Torg knocked off with his incredible bow shot. I imagine all over the place. And then just draws a circle around him, which is interesting because he looked, basically like this one arm out of this gray ball just in a circle. As he does, some of the dust and dirt on the rooftop floats up, as he casts Bless, targeting all of his remaining mask mates to give them 1 temporary ability pip to be used at their discretion within the scene.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Cool.
That's cool. So like your next whatever you try to do next is better because it's like an extra bonus.
As he does so, he chants out part of the catechism of the pile. The pile surrounds us. It binds us together, supports us, and guides us. So, as he says these magical words that are completely original, OC, do not steal, all of you are inspired to fight your hardest against this gang of pigeons. There we go.
Excellent. I am fully on board with what you're putting down here. Is so then you get to add you get to choose who goes next. Like I think the way we've done this is you've got the pigeons or you've got it's throwing it back to Rufus, I think are your options.
I mean, it seems unsporting not to let the pigeons have at least one chance to, wreck us up. I will send it to the pigeons just to see what happens. I want to see what skills they have. Sorry,
Yeah.
Rufus.
No, that's good.
Yeah, I think there's combat is abstracted, so I think they're gonna take some. I think the ones that we're spoiling for a fight are gonna try to do something here. Like pigeons aren't very aren't tough though. These cuckoos. Where I know I've lost the sheet again. All right, let's see what they can do. I'm gonna roll some dice. All right, so these pigeons are gonna and yeah. All right, so there's a couple here. They're gonna see what they can do. They're kind of gonna like you got a couple pigeons, and they're like you've knocked down a couple, but there are a couple more, and they're all kind of like moving forward. So I think they're going for I mean the person who started this is Rufus. So I think Rufus, you're in target here. So let's see what they do. I've got a 4. So this is a joint attack. So they're kind of like double teaming you here.
Okay.
Kind of going for a kind of like a pincher maneuver, like coming in with their like the ones that were acting the tough with their wings and stuff like that. They're kind of going for a thing. So is your brawn more than 4?
It's 5.
It's 5. Okay, so they've only got 4. So they come at you with their beaks kind of like looking to peck at you from both sides at once. They're using their wings kind of as a just a big body screen. You're covered in feathers, you're covered in wings, and you feel them all upon you, but like they don't get in their hit because you're just that brawny that they can't find purchase. So that's them. They made this joint attack. There's only these 2 of them left. I think you're the last one in the round that hasn't acted. I gave you the surprise round, but this is the first full round. So you're going to act. They have to choose you as the last one that hasn't acted in the combat.
So I kind of stretch up to my full height of probably 2 feet.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, no, I mean
Lord.
a large raccoon would probably be close to like 2.5 feet tall on
Okay.
hind legs.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So 2.5 feet,
Yeah.
and spitting out feathers. Okay, that's just nasty. And I'm just gonna strike straight down with my club.
Sure. Do it.
I may have overestimated the size on that. 2.5 feet is actually pretty tall.
Well, I'm a really big one. That's 2 successes.
All right, so that's enough. You can deal damage to one of these raccoon or one of these pigeons. Yeah, knocked on the head. It's out. I don't. So I mean, that is technically the end of this round. I think that there's only like one pigeon really left here in the midst. I think I guess technically at the end of the round you would choose who goes next at the beginning of the next round, but I don't know that like when it's one of these, I learned this from somebody. It's like I don't know that it's much more narratively interesting to like blow by blow go through the rest of this combat. I think you've demonstrated that you're the toughest group on this roof. I think what will happen in the subsequent rounds is these pigeons will all leave. Any ones that were sort of showing up to this fight, maybe they'll leave. They'll decide that this isn't worth coming to blows over. So I think you all will be able to proceed across this rooftop here. You can give some parting shots, wrap up this like thing, but you've definitely won this encounter, is what I'm going to say.
Shout out at him. Yeah, let them know we're here. Let everybody know.
We the tough cookies.
Stupid cuckoos.
Cookie sounds nice.
Tell
Yeah,
your
and there-
fringe.
And you hear like there's a lot of like like everybody that I think you do have like the couple that you've injured, they're kind of like this is a family friendly, accessible, like fun animal game. You didn't kill anyone. They're just injured, knocked out, whatever. Like they pull themselves back to the walls. Are other some pigeons that have arisen. There's like a little parapet of bricks, little like curved. I'm imagining some curved tile, sort of like finial things or whatever.
Like the one that the roof knocked off the roof. You see like a wing like flap over the edge of the roof, and it pulls itself up. Like clearly a little worse for wear.
Well, I think it's more. Yes, exactly. Nobody has died here. That's not the way this game works. But I think some other pigeons have shown up. Like maybe there were maybe there's like a wooden crate here on the roof, and then like they're all kind of like lining up along the parapet, and some others have shown. There's like almost a dozen now, like pigeons. But like the three that got punched around, they're all kind of like. They're kind of like recovering and like they're like kind of trying to, pretend like nothing happened, and all the others are sort of like they're all kind of like fluffing around, shuffling back and forth on the edge of the building, and they're all just sort of like, they don't really want to admit that they've been defeated, but of course everybody knows the situation, so they're not getting any closer. Like you're in command of this like pebble dash field here.
Torque's gonna scamper up and grab his arrow,
Hmm.
the lead weighted arrow.
Yeah.
Then we'll move a little closer toward the like line of pigeons and grab the arrow that Gerald misfired.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably like cooing aggressively. Like they're like, like they're all kind of like the closer you get, they're kind of like making their sort of weird bird noises. But they're not going to stop you from doing.
Yeah,
This
no.
is
I think as he grabs the arrow, you got Torque like just looks up and does a little like low hiss, like bares his teeth.
At about the same time, Rufus does the equivalent of.
And you do that, and like three pigeons drop off the wall, and like all the rest of them spread out, and then like it's almost like water, right? Others will scoot in, and then the ones that jumped off, like they're kind of a mass of them. But
there's like a little puff of feathers. There's a couple of them actually like kind of scatter a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's. I mean, you could continue in this stasis for a little while, but like it again, you're nowhere near home. You got to get home. This is
This is a numbers game, and the numbers are against us.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you stay here and torment them, yeah, I mean, they maybe that's a good point. That's an excellent way to think of it. Like,
We
round one
know,
to you,
we
but
know there's more pigeons than there are raccoons, and
you do know that. You do
Yeah.
know that.
Could I cast a spell to help us get out of here safely?
Sure. What do you want to do?
Since I assume they're all within hearing range, I want to cast Manipulate Emotions Calm.
Ooh.
Sounds cool.
We both bared our fangs, or the avian equivalent, and now we want to go home. So I take out my staff, which has many shiny things, wind chimes and such, hanging off of it. and I roll it back and forth between my forepaws so that it spins and chimes together. And the sonic emanation just, you can almost see it as it fills the rooftop. And I want them to calm down and think that we are very uninteresting and that literally anything else, including the color of the brick, is just far more fascinating than we are.
All right. Yeah, I think that is, yeah, I mean, this is a, I didn't make you roll the skill roll for, so like, it's sort of like, yeah, this is it's an effect. I don't think you're really trying to, again, I think failure is not, like an interesting thing here. So like it is,
Hold on,
yeah.
let me try again. I think some of them are a bit hard of hearing.
No, you're good. You're good. I like how you described it there. Again, like this sort of like you've seen pigeons before. They kind of move around a lot. So like you literally have some, get down off the parapet and look at the bricks that the wall is made of. Like it is almost as now you are being ignored by this group of pigeons, and you should move on.
Yes. I cast hyperfixation. Gotcha.
You ever just noticed the texture of bricks, man?
Ooh, so cool.
All right. I am. So where are you headed now? I assume across the roof is where you're going. What are some of the next bits here? I think.
Which direction are we heading?
Yeah, you guys need to pick a direction. You need to head there.
We have a home base, right? Like we're not just
Oh,
wandering
yeah.
around aimlessly.
No,
Okay.
you've been, your adventure that you ended at the start of the session has taken you far from your home base, and you've lost your bearings. So you're kind of just needing to keep on the move now until you find something that gets you back on your bearings. And then once you know where you are at, then you can head to your home base. That's the progress of this.
Can Torg make a lore check or a lore roll to see if he can remember? I think we're in the city, so stars may not be necessarily an option, but there may be other landmarks that were near our
Any
base.
lore, I would say lore, snoop, or trick. Any of those I'm gonna let you have for like wayfinding sort of a role.
Right.
Whichever way you want to describe it.
I think we'll go. Torg is going to use lore because he doesn't have Snoop as an active skill.
Yeah, smart choice.
Probably wise. So we'll do that. And I think, actually, you know what? I'm going to try something. I'd like to make a manipulation.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about just using the dice.
yeah, I'm going to use I'm going to use a +1 manipulation. If I'm doing this correctly, right? So actually, let's walk through that process so
Sure.
like we can, so that
So
the
how
playing
many?
audience understands how this works.
Sure. Training points. How many training points do you have in lore starting out?
I
Like
have 2 training points in lore.
cool. So you have 2 dice to roll for this skill roll. And I'm going to
Mhm.
say that you probably need 4 successes to really make this a thing. So
Okay.
with 2 dice in your training pool to start, you need to at least have 2 more dice to be able to roll 4 successes.
Okay.
So what's your smarts attribute?
2.
2.
Actually,
So
if I'm counting this right, like there's like an empty pips at the front, and then there's 2. Is that's 2?
if there's 2 check marks, that should
Yeah.
be the ones that they are. If it looks
Okay.
weird, I can't explain what it looks like, but you should have the 2 check marks.
On the character
I-
sheet, it looks as though the check marks all shifted to the right one.
Yeah, I think I remember somebody saying that happened with some of
That's
those.
okay. So
yeah.
yeah, it's 2.
Okay, so so to get 4 dice, to get 4 successes, a 5 and a 6 on a roll, you need at least 4 dice. So you can spend your 2 to put in there, and you can roll the 4 dice and hope to get 5 and 6s on all 4 dice.
Are we still in the same scene to take advantage of Bless?
I think you have not left the roof yet, so I think this would still count. Thank you for reminding.
So I can give
that
myself
is
an extra pip in smarts, temporary pip in smarts.
right. If you want to use your
Get 1 extra
blessing
die.
that Tirana gave everyone for this, you can get. That's actually a pretty good thing, because one of the things you could do is the reroll. So like you could roll once and then you can reroll failures to try and build up to those 4 successes. You also have your glory cards, which you can also use for +1 manipulations. So if you want to spend a glory card to, again, buy another die or buy a pip on a roll, if you roll a 4, again, because you said like for the players. So buy a skill you don't already have, which doesn't apply in this case. Buy extra dice. Once you've rolled dice, you can buy pips or you can reroll. So those are the 4 things you can do. So. And you've got those other ways. In this case, you've got a blessing active. You can activate that, and you've got your glory cards if you want to turn those in.
I'm gonna use the bless to give myself an extra pip to give myself an extra die.
Okay, so you've got 5 dice now.
I have 5 dice now. Yep.
Great. Roll
it. I need 4 successes, right?
You need 4 successes.
Okay.
So.
6, 5, 5, 5, 2.
Hey, that's pretty impressive.
4 successes.
That's 4 successes. Okay,
I'll take it.
I mean, look. Most games go easier when your dice come up in your favor. So, and that's mathematically it was a good time for old Torgut, Torg. So you've succeeded. Again, I want to throw it to you. Tell me what you identify about the landscape or the map. Maybe you remember a map, or it's because you the lore skill. Maybe you remember a rhyme or something like that about like. Tell me how you identify the direction that you feel you should go. Like, what knowledge did you have in your brain that you called up that helped out in this moment?
So, I think I think to locate our home, there was a rhyme that I think we all learned as pups, as small raccoons, and I think the rhyme was that if you can see the mouth, you've gone too far south. And on top of one of these buildings is a large neon like mouth.
Yeah.
And it opens and closes. It's for a chewing gum manufacturer.
Yeah, of course.
So when the mouth opens, like a bubble pops out, like it produces like a big soap bubble. And then the neon closes and it looks like it's like teeth and lip. So I think from the rooftop we're at, you can clearly see that neon sign with the mouth.
Yeah. That wild, ancient, arcane construction that is just who could have made such a thing? But it is definitely like you're too far south.
Yes, so we definitely need to head like toward that sign.
Oh, so you're like, you think that you need to go?
Yeah, if you can
you're
see them, if you
that.
can see the mouth, you're too far south.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So, all right. I'm gonna. So I think then what we want to do is we're going to. I think you. I mean, traveling by the upways is they're not always connected. So that's one of the dangers of traveling. But we're going to say that like it takes you a little bit. It's not impossible. Sometimes there are connections between them, or in certain places there are they're just so close together you can make that jump. Once you've got something in sight, you make your way across some of the other rooftops. the momentum that you have. Maybe some of the other the bird word. The word is spreading among the birds to leave you alone. Like nobody else is messing with you. You get to this sign, and as you get close to it, like those of you who I would imagine that like maybe none of you you've heard this rhyme before, but you never really have been to this part of the city before. So like it's like we've all heard that rhyme, but like nobody knows what it meant. Like here it is. Like this is so weird, and like it's moving on its own, and it's clearly not like alive. It's clearly like some sort of there you could hear it when you get close to it. You can hear sort of like the gears that make it move, and the hiss of the like inflating mechanism that blows out the bubbles. All of these things, like it is
I think from our home, like you can't actually see the sign because again, it only faces one direction,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Rufus is kind of staring up, like everything they taught us is true.
Yeah, it's kind of like a it's kind of like a moment of I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to tell you how your characters feel about seeing this like legend in reality.
All I have is that scene from the first Land Before Time movie. We're going the right way, guys.
Yeah.
Toronto will pat Torg on the shoulder in like grandfatherly pride, like you did good, son. You did real good.
Excellent.
And as he just stares up at this mouth, because he'd never heard about it either.
Hey, now
What about-
Toronto, you're not that much older than me.
He says, but I'm better looking.
Fair.
All right. What about you? Sorry, Gerald.
Gerald.
What do you feel, Gerald?
Gerald.
You feel like you've set yourself up as being like sort of the young, wide-eyed one in this group.
Yeah.
So what do you think about like this? Like here, Rufus has said like, oh, it's all true, and you're seeing this now too. What's Gerald feeling?
I think Gerald is like,
Mama and whoa, they were right. They told me about this when I was young, but I never thought I would ever see it. Whoa, whoa, nice eyes, Torg.
and I think Gerald kind of like goes around and he's very mesmerized by all the mechanisms, but he does not understand it one bit.
Sure.
He's like,
I mean,
whoa.
this is one of those things that is it's clearly like it's definitely beyond your skill to create something like this. Like you've never you can see that it's machines that are moving, but like it's impossible to understand how such a thing could have been made. All right, so I think you continue on. You've got this lodestar now. You know you need to move on in this direction. I think that you eventually reach a point where you have to you have to come down off of the upways. There's not a connection point, and the reason why is because there is a it's like it's one of the stream beds that is in the turns. So you have to come. There's you can see from the top, right, that there's the street that there's a concrete ditch, and then the buildings are on the other side. So there's a wide enough that it's way too far for you to get across just by jumping, and there's no points, no clotheslines across this thing, but you see that it's just full of flowing water. This sort of urban stream is full of flowing water, and you guys will have to cross it somehow. And that is so you have to come down off the building to do that. I mean, or not. You could try to do something wild from the top. So this is I think what I want to have you all do is I want to have you sort of, you can make some skill rolls to maybe learn some stuff, but I think this is like a use some of your garbage to make something to get across this, and I don't want to. That's the obvious thing. Like, the water's moving fast. You don't want to try and. You could try to swim it, but it's probably a bad idea. You want to like get across this in some sort of like. You're going to need some help to get across this. Something that you're carrying can be cobbled together into something to get across this. But what is that, and what is that going to look like? And that's what we're going to do next.
I mean,
Is
I'm
there-
assuming you guys don't want me to try to throw you over.
Everyone goes, no!
No. Do I see any like rusted apart, like long gutters?
Well, well,
Like,
again, like so the garbage cards that you have, Ezra,
mhm.
your
Mhm.
character has denote stuff that you have, right? So
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the suit of the cards denotes what kind of thing it could be. So like
Right.
spades are something sharp, hearts are something soft, diamonds are something shiny, and clubs are something hard,
Oh,
right?
sweet.
So
Okay.
Like wood or metal, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
if you're looking for something and you've got some garbage cards, you can say that like that was part of your haul from the garbage bin, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to say I have it from the hall because like I'm picturing like a 10-foot long gutter
Right.
to like basically pole vault my way across.
No, I think
Gotcha.
you're gonna have to. I'm challenging you all to come up with a use for the stuff that you've taken with it. Like this is. There doesn't seem to be anything because of the fast moving water, and maybe it's been raining over the last few days, so that it's actually higher than normal, and it swept this whole area clean. There's no garbage available other than what you have brought with you. So, this is like this is basically like
I think
why I gave you so much garbage, just so that now you can, from a gameplay mechanics. I gave you a bunch of garbage. Now I'm going to make you spend some to get across this stream.
I feel like once it becomes obvious that there's no clear place to cross, I
Yeah.
think Torg will start like he'll open up like the kind of the pack that he has and start just kind of offloading, like trying to sort through some of the things that he's got, right? So
Yeah.
like there's let's look at the garbage pile here. So we've got 3 clubs. So he's got some heart. So he does pull out like maybe one large maybe it's like from a bakery, right? Like in one of those old plastic kind of like hard plastic trays that
Mm.
you would normally like put like stuff on to put out for display, like
Yeah.
in a donut case. He's got one of those hard plastic trays. He's got a couple of other um, lumpy things, right? There's a piece of metal, a large piece of metal. It looks like it's a little twisted, but it's definitely got some heft to it. It's got a couple of, let's see, it's got some sharp things too. So there's definitely a part of a broken wine glass, like the stem and like just part of the glass, like a sharp
Yeah.
piece. Um, and then let's see, there's an old bike mirror, and we're gonna say a pool floaty.
All right. So I I think with you laying out this stuff, that sounds like you've described some trash that's very, has some potential to be used.
Yeah, like so.
I really want to not give you any hints, so you tell me
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
thinking.
no.
You tell the
So
raccoons, like,
yeah, no.
here's what I'm.
So again, like so, Torg starts kind of sorting this stuff out, and he's like, "Well, everybody's got everybody has some trash. Let's see what we've got."
So Rufus has been digging through his bag looking for something to eat and tosses out a let's see, so 8 of diamonds or something special, so he pulls out the lid to a styrofoam cooler.
Ooh, all right,
Um
very unusual texture.
and then I've also pulled out 2 half deflated basketballs that were in the garbage.
All right,
And then I also have yeah, I've got enough cards to do that. And then I pull out some twine that was in there. I'm just
Excellent.
kind of tossing him like, nope, nope, nope. Oh, pulls out a half-eaten apple, runs over to the edge of the water and starts washing it off.
Excellent.
That's good.
It's
Toronto will.
it's. Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's like dirty brown city flowing through a culvert water, but it's it's probably, is it cleaner than it was when it was in your pack? It's very hard to tell.
The,
It's very
the,
hard
the
to tell.
instincts takes over, and I just can't, clear or brown. It's just I gotta wash it first before I
Yeah,
eat
yeah,
it.
yeah. I guess. All right, go ahead, Kyle.
Toronto will pull out a large baker's apron of cloth with his one hearts card. Um, now, question: do we discard the
Yeah.
cards when we?
Yes. So if you're going to be using if you're going to be using to make this construction, this is a temporary construction that will solve an in-game problem, but you're spending the cards to do this. So I think the things that you've thrown out already, I think sound great. They can form into. I mean, I have put them together in my mind in a certain way, but again, I want you to tell me what you want to construct out of these items that you've offered up. And I think, um, I think, I think 6 cards between the total of you will make a very passable solution. And if you want to be a little less, you can spend 4 cards to make something a little more dangerous, and then that may have knock-on effects, like basically, I mean, obviously to take the whole whatever. What I wrote down was 4 cards, and then you'll still have to make a skill roll, or 6 cards, and you'll just solve the problem. That's what I wrote down. So, if you want to definitely get across this stream of rushing dirty brown water, 6 cards as a group will solve the problem, and you can describe what that construction looks like.
Okay, I'm also going to put in a clubs card, the 2 of clubs for a board with a nail in it. If I can get away with that, in order
Sure.
to make a sort of, because I think we're making a raft, so that would be the sail, essentially. The sail component is the
Yeah,
apron and the board.
all right. I love that.
Gerald pulls out a cutting board, but it's like the ones where it's like that, and it has a little handle on the end. So he like grabs on
Oh,
it. He's like,
yes.
"Woo!"
Nice. Excellent. All right. So I think more cards have been offered up than are needed to fulfill the 6 that I'm asking for.
Okay.
So if I see we're putting out. We don't need to have all whatever. Everybody's put out the cards that you feel you need, and then you can kind of briefly I think I've forgotten your names already. Doing too much at the same time. Okay. Torg and Rufus, you offered up a lot of different stuff. So
So
I think,
I'm gonna put out the 8 of clubs for the styrofoam lid
yeah.
and one of the deflated basketballs.
All right. I love it. Then we got a paddle type object. We got the sail set up that Tarana
Gerald.
has
Oh,
jumped in there with.
Mm-hmm. And then I got the ace of clubs, or 7 of clubs, for the cutting board.
Yeah.
Okay, so we still have way too many cards.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
6 total cards is so I love that you've all put in a couple, but I think your Torg, I think, was throwing out a bunch of cards. I think we don't need all of the ones that Torg threw out, I think, to get the 6 between the 4 of you.
No, Torg. Torg only put out 2.
All right. So
Yeah, 2.
I see 6 cards on the table.
Yep.
Those are the cards everybody is doing. Great. I'll collect them all up, and I want to get a little bit of story from each of you about the crossing this stream. What is
Ooh.
this? So you're building the thing. What do you say? What do you do as you construct this item? I mean, what does it look like when you're finished? Give me a little bit more details.
So I think out of the pile that Torg ended up pulling out, he leaves the large plastic tray, and then there's also a large plastic spatula from the same bakery.
Nice. Probably, I imagine the tray being like 80% of a tray, like it's kind of like missing the corner, and I imagine the spatula being like maybe partially melted.
Yeah.
That's why it's trash,
Mhm, mhm.
Oh yeah.
get those nice flavors, the deflated basketball, the
The styrofoam lid.
Burnt
right, this-
cutting board.
right.
Yeah.
The cutting board that you described, I think it's half a cutting board, like it's split. It's
Yeah.
a wooden cutting board. It's split right down the middle, so it's
Yeah.
like it's still the shape you described, but it's like not the full thing. It's
half of
it's
it.
yeah, we
Yeah,
gotta
the new guy was put on baking brioche and just whacked right through it.
Don't get Kyle started about bread.
Oh
I work at
man.
a bakery.
Okay, all right. Well, we could discuss bread at the
Or do get Kyle started about bread. He has a lot of stories.
So many.
So I'm guessing that apron would have been from the same bakery.
yeah. You ended
It's in
up
the garbage because it caught on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Again, the new guy.
Yeah, maybe it just so happens all this refuse from the bakery is from a small bakery fire that happened.
You can still make out
Uh,
on the apron. It just says CBS. Anyway, but
and there's the part of a name tag that looks like it says the word Kyle on it.
KY lie.
yeah, just aisle YILE.
aisle.
Anyway, but yeah, no, it would still make a pretty good sale. I think we would still be good with using the bakery refuse. This would be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. So you spend the time. You've got the styrofoam and the basketball and the stick with use the nail, and it's the cloth is there, and you're using the paddles, and yeah, I mean it's a rickety temporary construction. The water's going fast, but you are able to cross this stream with you've used some of your garbage, but you've made it through to the other side of this the city, the other side of the stream, right? You're able to, and the thing about these temporary constructions, right? It's kind of like you've tied it together. It's kind of held together by like bit and hope, and it holds just long enough for you to cross this stream, and kind of falls apart. Like I think right as you get up to the other sloping concrete side that you're trying to cross to, that's when the basketball floats away and the sail crashes into the water, and you start paddling faster to get it that last little bit up there so that you don't totally fall into the drink. But you do it, you manage it, you've made it to your side of you've made it to the other side, and I think I don't know. I think that might be a good place to take a little bio break. We haven't been playing for quite half the time yet, but I think that's a good stopping point if we want to take a little bio break in the middle of the session, and we'll come back in about 10 minutes for us to continue the rest of this adventure.
All right.
Yeah, if that works for everybody here, I think that's what we'll do.
Yes, it looks
Absolutely.
good. Sounds good.
All right.
Indeed.
Excellent. Put us on the correct screen there, John, and we'll see you all in just a minute. Hello. We're back again. We've had one of our players had some IRL stuff that they are off to take care of, but hopefully they'll be back before the end. In the meantime, you all are here on the other side of the river, the stream. Torg, Rufus, and Tirana, you're here. You've safely made it across. You've got a moment to breathe. Maybe the first sort of like downtime really of this evening. And our other players back already. Hello. So you all are here. You've got your downtime. Like, what's your breather been like? This real life breather that we've had as players. What has it been like for the characters? They've been sitting on the edge of the stream. What have they been thinking? I think. Yeah. Go ahead.
So Tirana has taken this time, this respite, to give thanks to the Great Pile, and has enacted upon a sermon. Whether anyone's listening to him or not doesn't really matter. The pile flows through the world like a mighty river, from have to want and back again. And as you hear these familiar overtones, you may very well just decide that this is the 61st time I've heard this one. I think I'm going to go do something else. But he is very, very sincere as he stares out at the river, shaking his staff of jinglies.
Excellent.
I feel like Torg has gotten very used to the sermons, and has also gotten very good at feigning attention. So Torg is pretending to pay attention to the sermon, and in the meantime, in the back of his mind, he's thinking about all of the treasures that were taken from the last hall, and what may be still used what they may still be used for, what he could possibly trade them for once once we get back to home. Maybe maybe Marilyn would like one. We'll see.
Rufus doesn't have a whole lot of concerns. He appears to be paying attention to the sermon, but if you look closely, his eyes are closed and he's like, praise the pile.
Gerald is very mesmerized because he's like this young kind of raccoon that's taking everything in right now, and now he has this very, person to like be like, whoa, like what you're doing. This should be like this is cool. Praise the pile. So he's kind of just like googly eyed, listening.
Amazing. All right, so you have had this breather. The sermon concludes. Is there a does it end somberly, or does it end like with a call to action? Torona, like how does it wrap up? Does it end with like a reflective mood, or do you now to the streets or whatever? How does it end?
He lets it tail off on a particularly poignant note, lets the silence settle in, and then claps his paws together and goes, "Right, food."
Right.
And then he's going to dive into his pack. He is looking for, particularly if he was able to pick up any food from the garbage, Mrs. Pell's frozen fish sticks. He knows it on sight. Can't read it. He knows it on sight though.
I think I think if you're looking for a specific sort of thing, if you want to like, I definitely want this. I think I'll say that's either like a soft trash or a special trash. So what are those? That's the a hearts or a diamond. If you have a hearts or a diamond, you want to like have that, and specifically you have that. That's what that is that you found.
I do not. I do not have the diamonds or the hearts, so I will look forlornly through my pack. Once again, I have been tricked by the great enemy, the man with the short beard and the captain's hat with the anchor on it. The boxes are very similar, but it is not Mrs. Pell's shining face that stares up at me, but the man with the short, scraggy beard. I mean, the ogre with the short, scraggy beard.
Sure.
Foiled again.
Foiled again. Not the favorite,
No.
but the the lesser
The imposter.
form. Well, perhaps the pile will smile upon you yet tonight. But you guys are still a ways from where you need to be. But I think as you're getting yourselves together, you're kind of like you had this breather, you've had this time to rest. You do notice that there is there's a familiar sort of like feeling to the buildings, right? And you're like you think you've crossed back into territory that like you've at least been to before. Like you may not necessarily, you're still a ways from like your home turf, but you're like, oh wait, I know where we are. This is down from that place, and we're getting closer, right? You feel a little more familiar, but you still got to keep on. And I think I will also drop the yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe that doesn't need to be the pressure. Yeah. Okay. How about this? How about I ask you to use some sort of skill to find out what you know? Let's see. Which skill would be the best for here? Yeah. Anybody got Snoop? Roll a Snoop roll. Let's see if you get a 3 on Snoop.
I got
Anybody?
nothing.
I got 3 on Snoop.
Yeah. Well, you'll
Ooh,
be excellent
yeah.
to snoop something out then.
All right.
Please
Let's
do.
see. So I'm rolling 3 for Snoop, and then using 2 of my guts, and then I'm gonna leave 1 of my guts left for a pip if I need be.
Awesome. Love. That's how the game works.
Okay. So, I got 1 success. That's it.
1 success. Okay.
1 success.
Well,
There you
can't
go.
use that one dice to reroll?
Yeah, if you've got 1 point of your guts left, you could reroll all your failures.
Oh yeah, then I'd use that, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank
Do
you.
that. Do that.
Yeah, let me do that. Yeah.
You got 4 dice to reroll. You could get 2 more on that.
I got a 6, and a 3. Okay, so I only got 2 successes this time, but I have a 4, which I don't have that final pip to change the thing. So just barely missed it.
Okay. So you're close, but well, I mean if you really want to
Do
succeed,
you have any glory?
you could
Ooh,
spend a
I
glory
do.
card to buy a pip if you wanted to.
I think
You do have that. If you really want to succeed on this roll. But, there's interesting things
Yeah.
either way.
I
You
want
should-
to spend my glory.
All right. So I'm going to ask
Yeah.
you, what suit of a glory card are you spending?
That would be that would be a diamonds.
All right. So you are inspired in this moment by your possessions. You are like, I have to succeed at this roll because of something related to physical objects that you have or whatever. So what is it that drives you that little bit more in this moment?
Ooh, okay.
What's
I
back
think
at
he's
home
got-
that you?
Ooh, okay.
Or
He's-
you don't have to pick it from me. It's possessions, but it's how.
Yeah. I think that he yearns for his so Gerald found like this like how like the kids they grow out of those little toolbox like things that are the tool tables that they have and everyone just throws them on the side of the curb. Gerald like yoinked one of those one time and like he's like that's where I make all my stuff. So he yearns for that table again and to like he's thinking back to like the big mouth and he's like ooh maybe I could make something like that. That'd be really
Yeah.
cool. And he just wants to get back home to his little table.
I love it. So, okay, so you've spent that card. You've made that final 4 into a 5. You've got your 3 successes. You notice that coming along your side of the river, down from upstream a little ways, there is a procession of. I mean, you spot them. They're trying to be a little bit stealthy, but there's not exactly like a lot of ground cover here. It's concrete into asphalt, but there's in that little lip where the sidewalk goes into the street. There's a sort of a little corner there. There's a line of rats, and they are coming, and they're not necessarily like, they're kind of like, it's kind of like almost one of those like eyes things where like you're on the lookout. You spot them, then they try to secret themselves, and they're like you do almost like a double take, and they're gone. Like, but you saw them. You know what you saw. You saw that there's rats about.
Mhm.
So there's like
Over there.
you know
Over there. The little tiny thingies. The little mouseies. Well, they coming for us.
yeah. So I mean, everybody who likes trash in this world is called like a garbage gatherer. So like that these are fellow garbage gatherers, but again, you're not home yet. So like this is
Yeah.
there are rats here. There's around. They're not like alien beings, but they're also like not necessarily friends.
They're not
Is what I'm trying
ogres,
to
but
say.
they're not. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Uh,
Okay.
so there's rats about.
We're not alone, friends. We're not
More
alone.
cuckoos?
Nope. Smaller. Well, wait. Not smaller. Hairier.
no wings.
Oh,
No
not
wings.
rats.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The
I think
flying rats.
Yeah. once Gerald notices them, and of course they see me, I want to roll sneak
Okay.
to kind of like not get a jump on them, but kind of like see what they're doing and how many are there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give like I think that's another 3 to get kind of some more intel to get closer
Yeah.
so you can kind of see what they're doing.
Cool. Okay.
Um,
I'm great at sneak.
yeah. It's kind of your
kind of
thing.
my thing. I've got man, I can roll 7, but I'm gonna roll 6 here. Oh no, I can roll 5. Okay. I'm gonna leave that 1 of bronze for if I need a reroll here. And yeah, I will definitely need that reroll because those were all 1s, 2s, and 3s. Ooh. We love rolling low. Come on. Come on, Jared. And that is a utter failure with 1s and 2s.
Oh no.
All right. So you apply yourself. You're like, ooh, I saw these rats. I'm gonna sneak up on them. You go over in that direction. Perhaps your fellow mask members realize how unstealthy you are. There, maybe I could just imagine, Tirana just kind of being like, I just, no. But, well, yeah. But anyway, you go over there. You don't see them. You don't find anything. You don't learn anything new. But you don't, they've melted away. You don't see them, but you don't learn anything else new about the situation from that role. So that's where you're at with that. Yeah,
I knew they were over here. They were over here. I swear, guys. They were just right here. Oh, there's a banana over here. Okay.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, there's nothing else to be learned here at the moment. Unless you really want to like wait for the rats to come back or something like that. Like I don't know what you, but
Nah.
there definitely is like, it's the night is passing. You're still not home yet, so you feel that that pressure.
We
Yeah.
really like to get home before the sun comes up because
Yes.
it's just
Yes.
really want to go to bed when the sun's up.
Mm-hmm.
The further we get, the further we can get away from those scale tails, the better off we are anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, because they don't fight fair. You think it's going to be one-on-one. Next thing you know, you're fighting 20 of them at the same time.
So
Yeah.
that is one of the ways that they work, for sure. There's always more of them than you expected. That's definitely how it is. All right, so you strike out. I think. Why don't I ask you, Rufus, to kind of like, not that you're like, just as you as a player haven't like gotten as much of a focus in the last little bit. So why don't you tell us like the direction, like what does it look like you setting out from this location, like into the streets? What does it look like for what kind of
Uh,
cityscape are you first entering to after this culvert?
so, like, there's definitely a road we have to cross. It's like go up the embankment of the culvert. There's a road, and probably, I say, subdivision like setting because that offers all kinds of sneaky, fun hijinks that raccoons could get into on their way home.
Sure. Like you're talking about like lawns and like individual houses instead of tall buildings, that kind of
Fences.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that kind of environment
Garbage
is called,
cans.
yeah. That sort of environment is known as the greens in the raccoon logo. So you've left the turns and you're in the greens now, and that seems like yeah. So that's the environment to picture. Great. Right. So I think then let's see. What do we want to do with this? So you're setting off there, and you've got and I think, I mean, this is pretty close to like, this isn't like, I would say this is not like an exurb sort of situation. This is not gigantic lawns. This is like pretty smaller, within the city, sort of like you said, subdivision kind of thing. But it's like, I think it's like an older one of those from the point of view of us humans, built when these things were not monstrous. When you didn't have the mini mansions built in the former horse fields and stuff like that.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's like a little row. It's like a little row of like small 2 stories, like
Yeah.
small like postage stamp lawns.
exactly. Is what I'm
Basically,
thinking.
this would have
And
been like a very small rural settlement that the city kind of grew up around.
yeah. And the reason why is because it's one of those ones where you have like sort of it's still sort of got like an alley behind it, right? So you've got like a street that turns into this community. It goes down. There's street lights. You see the lawns. Maybe there's a couple places where, even though it rained like 2 days ago, like it didn't rain today. So there's at least a couple people that have like water spraying out on their lawns. But then from this sort of geography that there'll be like sort of the streets butt up against each other, and there's like an alley sort of between the streets where you have like the garage opens onto the street, and there's more a little bit more protected or whatever. So like you could take either way is what I'm saying. So just why don't you I don't know, somebody take I don't know, where do you want to go? Like which way do you want to approach progress down the street, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, we could like the last time we came through, I feel like we would have hopped a fence to get into an alleyway because that'd be safer from. I don't know. What do in this world? What do raccoons consider cars?
Uh, I think they're just they're
The splat
it depends
machines.
on depends on the context, I think. Like I think sometimes they can be observed as like, weird things that the ogres are doing, and I think other times they are sort of like accepted as like, almost like a force of nature, right? That there are places where there are these like dangerous moving objects, and it's just a part of the landscape that is best to be avoided. Which is one of the reasons why night is safer for those kind of things. Almost like how you might see like a dust devil or something like that. They just kind of form and move around, and they do their own thing, and you don't really have any control over them. It's best to just not be there when they're there and stuff like that.
Would I be able to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would I be able to make a tame check to see if I could decipher the magical symbols and shapes that keep these rolling boxes under control? I
Oh,
know that
no.
there's one. Uh, it has sides of 8 and is red, and I'm keeping an eye out for that. But is there others? Because the strange hieroglyphs I know have some control over them.
That's not really a tame roll. That's more of like a lore roll. Tame would be like if you are trying to calm yourself down or calm someone else down or de-escalate a situation.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's tame. If you want to like, arcane symbols.
Trying to ride one of the neighborhood dogs.
Gotcha. Understood.
Yeah, that would be tame descends from animal handling, and inflame descends from intimidation.
That makes sense.
I
Okay.
am all for you trying to tame one of the rolling boxes, though.
I mean, I was kind of thinking, but yeah, more or less,
I
I
mean,
want to find out if I can find where any of the more useful symbols are. That's all.
I'd like to, and I don't know if this is an appropriate use of a spend of one of the glory cards.
Mhm.
I'd love to. Oh my gosh, I'd love to find in one of the backyards, in one of these postage stamp yards, um, a Power Wheels like Barbie Hummer.
I mean that
A small version, like a small version of one of these, monstrosities.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
actually like raccoon sized.
You know, this is one of those things where it's like I could make up a random percent and do whatever, but like I'm a fan of the players. I think this is one of those things where it's like, sure, why not? You find this. I don't know where this is going to go. Let's find out.
So,
it's going to lead to chaos, which is fun. I
Yeah.
think this is what it is. So
it will lead to chaos.
I think so. I'll describe the scene, and you can add some details for your characters or whatever. Like it is, I think Tirana and Rufus, you guys are kind of like, you two are sort of like having this discussion about like, could we tame them? Where are they? Like, maybe one of those beasts, and then you're kind of intently having this conversation, and then Torg, you're like tapping one of them on the shoulders and just kind of pointing and like, what about that? And so I think that is a thing now.
Yeah, I think definitely the conversation is, yes, it's definitely Rufus and Tirana talking about how Tirana wants to, like, I think we could take one of these large things. I think we could take one. And Rufus is like, are you out of your mind? Like, there's no way we could, and then Torg is like, what about one that size?
Oh god, all I can picture is a human like walking down the sidewalk and this little Barbie Power Wheel drives by.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be a
raccoons
Barbie
in it.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, it's a Barbie Hummer, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Only.
I have a question. Can I use one of my heart cards to have in my pack sunglasses?
Yeah, I mean that's like.
Can one of the garbage pieces you found be like a pair of like Elton John like heart glasses?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or the ones with like the glittery wings off the side, like cat eyes. Yeah.
I think I mean I think that might be a diamond more than a heart, but I think this
like
is
like one lens out. Just or like one lens is like cracked, like only there's half a lens in one of them, right? But
yeah,
yeah,
there's like some tape in the middle,
So I think that is Gerald, Gerald. Sorry, I don't know why Gerald is. I think it's Gerald's vote here. Like, yeah. So you two, you are like, I think, moving toward the pink, vibrant Barbie Hummer that has been left by some child in the back of this one house. And the two of you, the rest of you are gonna like. This is the thing. This will be like a tinker role, I think, to operate some sort of technology. So that is what I'm gonna have to ask you to roll to. Jumping ahead, like to when you're actually in it and going to drive it. If that is in fact what happens, it's going to be a tinker roll to operate this thing. But you've discovered it; it's there. You're moving in that direction. Gerald has the glasses ready.
Well, who's going to drive?
Gerald kind of like steps up and he's like, and in my mind, there's that one clip of the two dudes. I don't know what movie it is from, and they get into that one car and they have sunglasses. It's like it's midnight. We got to smack a
Blues
pack of
Brothers.
smokes.
Brothers.
Yeah,
Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got 6 hours to drive. Miles to Chicago.
We had half a pack of cigarettes. Let's go.
Did you just? You were about to say 106 miles to Toronto, weren't you?
No. No.
I would love to make that roll.
Excellent. I think I think there's going to be like a learning curve a little bit. Like, I think a basic
Okay.
operation. I think I'm going to do like
I feel like it's Gerald. I think it's Gerald in the driver's seat, and then I think it is Tirana in the passenger seat, like trying to decode everything on the dashboard, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
grabbing those little switches and flipping them back and forth, and
Rana loves
moving the
switches.
sliders left and right.
Which do absolutely nothing in the power wheel whatsoever.
Uh,
Just
Oh no,
looks
that
I-
the Power Wheels have little LED headlights.
no, right, but most of the switches just make the
Yeah, the click noise. Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm, mhm.
Rana
Yeah,
is convinced that he's helping.
yeah.
He's
I
setting
mean, I think
everything to turbo.
so. I think this is one of those. Like, I think okay. So this is the situation. I love this. Yeah. I think I'm gonna say, like, as far as like a learning curve thing, like basic operation. I think just a couple in Tinker, 2 successes in Tinker will be able to get you to like make it move. If you're gonna try and do anything, I think it's going to be like more elaborate as it goes on. I think if
Mhm.
you want to roll that skill as well, I'll give you either Lore or Tinker, Tirana, to like kind of what can you learn about the operation from watching what um, Gerald is doing and moving, messing with the operation itself. Like, I think you can um, your successes will ultimately flow into you know keeping that target number down. I think is what this is the rulings over rules that I'm inventing right now. So
Absolutely.
basic operation, Tinker 2 to drive it at all, and then if you want to also study it again, for you, Tirana, Lore or Tinker, to study it while it starts to get moved. And you can make those rolls, and we'll see where it goes from here.
Cool. Let's do it.
I'm going to do 4 dice for lore.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I've rolled 4 and I have 5 total, and I'm using my last pip to change a 4 to a 5.
There you
And
go.
that's 2 successes.
2 successes on Tinker. Great. So yeah, you're like, okay, there's a thing, it goes backwards and forwards, and this thing does this, and I went backwards this way, and I could go forward this way. Like, you're getting, I think everybody else
yeah.
is doing like sort of, back and
Yeah.
forth in the shaking around in the back seat.
Yeah.
I imagine.
I was gonna say, so there is never a back seat worth anything in these things. So
Yeah.
Rufus has wedged himself in, and Torg is having to sit on his shoulders.
Oh,
So the
no,
whiplash,
I like the idea. Not even the shoulders. I like that you're taking up 90% of the back seat,
Yeah.
and Torg is like squeezed into.
oh,
like-
right, yeah, whatever's left.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, that works.
that's good. That's good.
Great.
Oh, that's fantastic.
All right. So if you want to,
Okay, get in.
Yeah, right. You let your breath out, and then Torg's like,
But oddly enough, you're the only one that's not whiplashing back and forth.
yeah, right. I'm pretty secure.
Yeah, you got a gel seat like an astronaut.
Right.
all right. So Tirana, anytime you want to, like, if you succeed at, I'll give you a little, like, let's say it's 3 to learn something more. But I think you get some basic operation going, and this thing is like, you're. I mean, I don't know. Where are you trying to head? Where are you trying to
Oh.
go with this thing? You're driving
I
a
need
little Power Wheels.
I
already rolled.
think. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
you're good. Go.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, can I get a GM intercession on this? Because so I rolled 4 dice.
Uh huh.
I got a 3, a 3, a 1, and a 2,
Okay.
which is failure on all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Can I, of course, up to the GM, can I be completely wrong, but 100% convinced this is a Linux system? I know this.
I mean, that
Oh
sounds
my
like
gosh.
playing your character. Yeah. Is that a Linux joke that I don't get?
It's a Jurassic Park joke.
Oh. Okay.
I am nothing but references. It's
the-
just
yeah,
multiple-
The little girl's like, this
Oh,
is a Linux
she's-
system. I know
this is
this.
Okay. Oh,
Mm.
that. Okay. Yes. Great. I mean, that's hilarious. I think your absolutely your character can be convinced that you are helping. I think that is perfect. So we'll take that into account if when we get to the thing. So I think you're talking, in your grandfatherly way. You've the two of you've been put in the front seat together. You've got all the experience. You're giving an advice as you're very convinced of it, and you are you receive, and you, young Gerald, are just receiving the wisdom of the elders as you drive this pink Hot Wheels Power
There's
Wheels,
there's a glove box
not a
that
Hot
I
Wheels.
find and open, and in like
Mm.
on the door of on the inside of the door of the glove box is a map to get to Barbie's Malibu house, and I say, of course, the pile provides. Never let that be a lesson to you, young Gerald. The pile provides.
Of course,
Now we know
it always does.
Rufus
we
is getting-
are here, and we need to go. No, we are there, and we need to go. No, hang on. So I'm going to just be deciphering this text that the pile has sent me.
I love it. That sounds amazing.
Uh,
I think
Rufus asked Trog, didn't he get lost in his own trash pile?
I don't know if I'd hear that. I wouldn't hear that probably. The ears
No, I
are
think
occluded.
I think you're focused on your task at hand.
Yeah.
All right. So Gerald, with your success, tell us a little bit about how this. We've set up a lot of context. Now,
Oh yeah.
back to you, and tell us what it looks like to drive this vehicle in this
Okay.
through this subdivision as it is.
So how I picture how Gerald drives is how if basically a full car of people would be, and then there was a manual, and the person didn't know how to drive manual. So it's just the entire time it's like and Gerald Gerald in his mind, he's like, well, the ogres drive on the black top, so, and he just back onto the road and gumps off the sidewalk. He's
Oh boy. Oh boy.
we're rocking.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
I
So
love it.
he's just full stomp on the pedal, because there's no a little bit. It's either nothing or everything.
Yeah.
I imagine there's like a toy gear shift too, and you're
Yeah.
just like split axling it. You're stomping the brake and the power at the same time.
Yeah, dude.
Okay. So you put something in my head here, and we're gonna go with it. So I think this is you're having some success. You've got this little engine revving. You're driving down this street. It is, like I said, it is. It is after midnight at this point. Obviously, you guys are. I think it is about 3 a.m. or something like that. You've got a little bit of time before the dawn, but not too much. It is toward the end of the night. So I think so I think what happens is, as you're driving this thing, and it is making especially at this hour, right? It is making noise out on the street. And so I think that you basically attract the attention of not necessarily like a scrappy, tameable stray like you were using earlier in the evening to your advantage. By the end of this time, we'll remember everyone's name, Torg. This is like a mean dog from somewhere that you hear it kind of coming before you see it, and then it is chasing your Jeep.
I imagine that we're kind of hauling down the blacktop, and then there's this
Mhm.
sound of a gate or something opening hard, and then out from behind this, as we're going by, there's this car parked in a driveway, and this big old pit mix skitters out, almost slides out into the street, and just starts chasing after us.
Yeah,
Is
I think it runs out. I think that skittering effect happens. It's one of these wet lawns, and it's kind of like losing its footing immediately, and so you're past it, but it is now. It's decided that this is a car that it can chase and possibly catch, and it is trying to do that. So I think we're going. This is I don't know how this is going to work, but I think we're going to enter a combat here, a running,
Right.
moving combat with a
Yeah.
large dog that is trying to catch you guys and do something about it. So I think I am going to ask you to, if you want to contribute to initiative, you want to show a card for initiative. Who's going to win initiative in this situation?
We love a chase scene.
Yeah, this is a there's no rules for this. We're just making it up.
Oh, not that one.
There's no specific chase rules, but I think the way to think about it is like you're engaged in a combat. One of you is going to have to pay attention to keep driving. The dog will be, pursuing, and so like it's sort of a static combat in that you'll be lobbing attacks at each other, but you should imagine it as constantly in motion as you proceed down this. Well, we don't know if it's a cul-de-sac yet. It might be. Who knows? It's up to you. We'll see. We'll see when we get to the end of the. We see we get a little further along. But yeah, I think that's where we're gonna go with this. I've got the. Great. I need to. So many windows open. So many windows open. Who's got an issue? Oh, look, that same Joker or that same Jack is out again. Is that the same Jack? Is that you?
That's mine.
Rufus.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So that beats the dogs. The threats in this game have a pre-printed initiative, so that beats the 6, I think, is what the dog has. So yeah, this is so you win the initiative. You are first. You decide who goes first. Like this is.
I noticed someone else had played a Jack. If they want to take the initiative, I'm happy to let them take the lead.
Oh, do we have 2 Jacks?
Someone had played another Jack, and I played my only high card, and they took it back. I don't know who did that. I was just saying, if they want to take the lead, that's fine with me.
I'm good.
Okay. So Rufus here's like I'm assuming the dog's barking too as he's
yeah. This is a very like it's barking, chasing, running.
So I have it in my mind's eye. Is this a like Pomeranian size or German Shepherd size?
Michael just described it as like a pit mix, so I'm imagining like
it's a large dog.
Okay,
like a good sized boxery, 100 pounds at least.
Pomeranian.
I would say
Pomeranian.
I'd be willing to say that the dog is in similar size to the Power Wheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I'm imagining. Similar, I think we're thinking similar things. Like this, you and all of the Power Wheel and you all in it are about the same size as this one opponent. So it is a.
Well, that's
it
why
is
he wants to go after us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a fair. This dog views this as a fair fight.
It's Meals on Wheels.
So I'm going. So I'll take the first swing at it because I think I can probably boop him on his snout with my bone.
Yeah.
But before I do that, I'm gonna yell to Gerald, "Stop stopping! Go! Go! Go!" And then I'm gonna take a swing. Probably smashing Torg in the process because there's not a lot.
There's not a lot of
There's not a lot of room back here.
Yeah. Okay. So 4 is your target number for this attack.
Ooh, so I am going to, since I've got so much brawn, I'm going
You
to
do have so much brawn.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm rolling 6, which leaves me 1 to re-roll and 1 to add if I want to. Okay, that's 3 successes so far. I'm going to do a re-roll. Okay, so I still have 1 dice left, so I can add a 1 to my 4, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that gives me my 4 successes.
All right. So that is a success. Then you strike it. What is your attack? Your bone club
My bone club, which is 2 damage.
damage? 2 damage. Okay.
Yep. I was hoping to get
And-
over so I could get that extra, but no.
Yeah. Okay. But you got your 2 damage. You smack this thing in the snout. It's kind of a. It's you know, it's not happy about it. It kind of like gives a. Can't make a dog's whimpering noise, but it's not like a. It's a. It makes a sort of a surprise noise, but then it's like immediately like, oh, this, now I'm mad about it, kind of like reaction to that. So
I think I pissed it off.
Yeah, you've done something. So you can. So who you took the first action? Who's next in the round? You got 3 other people in the car and the dog. You're all going to act before the end of the round.
I'm gonna pass it to right now the only other person that's not involved driving and directing, so I'm gonna pass it to Torg.
Well, Torg is going to Torg's going to try to turn around as best as he can, like trying to wiggle himself around to be able to get a shot. Then yeah, I think he's going to pull out the same arrow, the weighted arrow, with the fishing
Yeah,
lead
yeah.
on the end, and he's going to try and hit this dog in the knee.
Okay.
Ooh.
Try to slow it down.
Bold.
Yeah. All right. I think your target number is only going to be 3. I think.
Okay. Well, I have a 5 in guts and I have a 3 in hurl.
Yeah.
Sorry,
you're-
no, I have. No, I think I have a 2 in hurl. Sorry, 2 in hurl.
That sounds right. 2 or 3. I don't know.
All right, so I need 3. So I'm gonna spend. I'll spend 2 from my guts to give me 4 dice to roll. Actually, I'll spend 3 from my guts to give me 5 dice to roll. Then yeah, we'll save the other 2 for rerolls because I'm probably gonna need them. I do need 1 reroll, so I will spend 1 more pip. Reroll my failures. There we go. Now it's 5 successes.
5 successes. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you shoot this dog in the leg, and it makes. I will. Sadly, it will not be so easy to recover this arrow.
No, this
but,
arrow is a loss, and he's okay with that.
Yeah. But you do the thing. The dog sort of like stumbles a little bit, but it is still approaching you.
I imagine the arrow comes out and he knocks it, and then there's just a minute where like his little raccoon mullet is like blowing in the wind.
I don't believe you've mentioned the raccoon mullet previously.
No, yeah, there's definitely the equivalent of a raccoon mullet. Like the hair on his little raccoon head is shaggier, but shorter in the front and like longer around his neck.
Okay.
Right.
I like this ad.
Glorious.
I like this ad.
There is that blowing effect as we're
Yeah.
driving, and then the loosing of the arrow.
Excellent. All right. What?
Oh, and one more little piece of color. When the arrow gets loosed, the Nerf bow makes like a boing noise, like because it's a kid's toy, really. So I mean,
Yeah.
it makes a kid's toy noise.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. Perfectly fitting. Okay, so that is happening. Then you get to pick who goes next. You got the driver, you got the passenger, you got the
We're
dog.
gonna let the dog go next.
All right.
We're gonna split this in half.
Nice.
I like it. I like it. For dramatic
Yes,
purposes.
Now I'm just imagining Tirana looking in the rear view, which is not really a rear view mirror, and just going, "Must go faster."
You're picking up what I have been putting down. Thank you. All right. So this dog it's it's got knocked back by the arrow. It's kind of like falling behind a little bit, but then it picks up its pace and it's going to run in, and it's kind of going to go for now that we all know what we're talking about here, it's kind of going to go for a big like bite. I think it's going to target you, Rufus. It's kind of got a it's reaching you. You're the big target in the back of the truck, and it's trying to bite.
It's going for the biggest mouthful.
It
Going
is.
for the biggest mouthful. Let's
I
see
am a
what
chomp.
this can do. All right, so it does not hit you because you got 5 brawn, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it does not succeed in hitting you with its 5 brawn, but it does. I'm going to say for dramatic purposes, it kind of takes a bite out of like part of the plastic. Like I imagine there's like a fake roll bar thing that's kind of at the back of this thing, and so it kind of like snaps at you. It crunches some of that plastic, but it managed to miss you actually hitting you with its bite.
I imagine the power wheel like kind of bumping across, like bumping sideways across the like. So it's got that little like noise that like those plastic wheels make as they like skitter across the pavement for a second.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So the dog has made its action. It is. I think I'm gonna go to. I could never remember your Gerald. For you're the driving. You're driving, Gerald. I think
Of course.
you can do something else, but I advise that you keep driving. Is the thing. So I'm gonna have. I mean, you can choose to do something else, dramatic, if you want.
I think
But
that Gerald. So there's usually the like the tiny little rearview mirror in the middle, and he looks in it, and of course it's not like high, it's low, and all he sees is just black because it's just Rufus.
That's fair.
So in Gerald's mind, he's like, "Oh no, the dog's right there." So he's just going. He thinks the dog is like in the car. He's
Weaponized force
petrified.
perspective.
Yeah. That's all he's doing.
yeah. So make a roll
Okay.
to. I think this is going to be a tinker roll again, and I think
Yeah.
I'm going to make you roll. So 2 is just to drive this thing. Now you're like driving it in a
course.
chase. So I think I'm
Oh,
going to
yeah.
up it to 3 to succeed at this roll.
All right.
Or
Here we go.
dramatic things may happen.
Dramatic. I love dramatic. That is 1. All right. I'm using my last pip to re-roll. Come on. Need. That is a success.
All right. So you got
5.
So you got 5 successes total. Excellent. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna here's what I'm gonna do. With 5 successes, again, this is rule of cool kind of thing. This is unusual combat. We're just kind of flying way off the rules, the rule page. But so with those extra, you've got enough to drive. You got enough to keep it on the steady, keep it going forward. Do you want to pull away like from the pursuer, or do you want to like kind of do like just a little bit of brake, smash into it, then drive on kind of thing? Like you won't advance, you won't get further away from it, but you'll be able to do your own damage if you want. So what do you
Okay. So
wanna-
like brake check this dog.
yeah, brake check the dog, maybe bump him in the nose that way. Like are you gonna do some damage, or are you gonna get further away is the choice for you with because you rolled so well on the roll.
So here's the thing. Gerald really likes tinkering on things. So he has this now vehicle that he's driving, and he wants this back in his little workshop.
Yeah.
So he is like, I don't want to like brake because it might like destroy it. So he's not. He's just going.
Great.
He's just getting back.
I love it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So then you get to choose who goes next. Obviously, sorry, there's only one person to choose. It is it's Tirana. What?
All right.
Yeah.
Tirana briefly considers, for some reason, a question to ask Gerald later about what he feels about family. Shakes it out of his head.
Kyle.
What? It's a legitimate question. Anyway. All right.
Coming soon from Wedding Games, not a joke.
Oh,
Absolutely.
the
So,
Fast and the Furious.
yes.
Nice.
We'll talk about it at the end. We'll talk about it at the end.
Yes.
Oh,
All right. Tell me when to kickstart it, man. That's all I need to know. Okay, question for the GM. I know
Yes, yes.
I do this a lot. Would it be a hurl check to like just empty out my garbage bag
Mm.
at this, like just caltrops this thing with just everything I got?
Nice.
So because you got an intention behind it, like yeah, if you basically I'll give you two options. Like you can if you because you're saying you're kind of caltrops, like that's a trick. That's literally what the skill trick is for, is to set up those kind of like things during a combat. If you can succeed, then we'll figure out what the TN is, and then you can do that. Or yeah, if you just want to like throw trash at it, then that's like a ranged attack kind of. It would be hurl, right? But if you're actually because you said caltrops, I'm like, well, that's really what the trick skill is about. So you have your choice there.
Yeah, no, it's just upending my bag and just
Yeah. I mean, if you just want to dump it out and see what happens, that's also there's no skill roll for that. That's just you doing it. But like if you want to set it up in like you said, a caltrops kind of way, if you want to have an effect, then you skill roll. Yeah, one or the other.
Would it just be okay? You know what? I said it. Let's do it.
Sure.
I will make a hurl check. I don't have anything for hurl, but I do have 5 guts. So
Yay.
I'm going to do 3 guts, roll 3 guts, and then I have 2 for rerolls. I think that'll work. Let's find out.
So if you don't have any training at all, you've got to spend your first point to roll the skill at all.
That's right.
Because you're
okay.
not trained in it at all. So that's your first point. And you've got 5. Then you can buy a couple dice or 3 dice. Have one. You could buy 3 dice and still have 1 left.
I'll buy 3 dice and have 1 left.
That's a great thing. Your target number is only going to be 2. The target number of the dog is going down as you do attacks to it. So you only need to get 2 successes.
Okay. That's a 6. That's a 3, but I'm going to spend my last die to bump that 4 to a 5, which I can do. Oh, that's a
how
6.
it works.
I re-rolled it, sorry. But I bumped that 4 to a 5, so that's 2 successes. So 2 of the bigger, bulkier things fall out of my bag, and
yeah. You don't have to discard all your trash, but like pick a piece of trash that you make. Discard a garbage card and describe what it is and what you throw at the thing. What you throw at the dog.
The GM is wise. The GM is kind. Thank you, GM.
Look, I'm a fan of the players.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to keep on theme, I will say that one of my shinies was it's large. It's probably the largest single item in my pack. It's curved on one side. It's got that clear stuff on the other. It's reflective on the inside, kind of. It's got one of those little bulbs, and it's a golf cart headlight. And I'm just gonna pull it out, hold it like York's skull, and just say, all goes to the pile eventually. The newest shiny will one day be thrown out. And then I just whip it behind me. And it just tumbles, and because it's oblong, it just has this weird sort of arc to it where it's just a chaos grenade, and it just hits up, it's going to go under the dog, but it just kind of bounces up and just right in the snout.
Yeah, I imagine it's like it sort of spins out of your bag and hits the pavement and then reverses direction up under, then kind of like catches the dog in their big weird chests that dogs have.
Imagine having a chest. Ugh. But yeah, no, excellent. I don't even like look for the I don't even look for the result. I just grab the dash with all of my little claws, and I'm just must go faster, must go faster, must go faster.
Yeah. You trust the pile to to guide your missile, right? You just chuck it out, and there you go. All right, so you've injured the dog as well. Great. That is the end of the round, and I think the dog has maybe just a little bit more fight in it, so we want to see what happens in the next round. So Kyle, tell us who goes next in the beginning of the next round. It can't be
Mm.
you, but it can be anybody else.
Can't be me. Darn.
Can't be you.
Always
You
getting
can't go
held
twice
down.
in a row, but
That's fair.
you get to choose who goes next.
I will say, why don't we have Rufus go up next? Because I think that he would be best set to solve our doggy problem.
Yeah.
Go Rufus.
So it's going to be scrap again because I don't think break applies in this situation at all.
Yeah, break is more like any
Object.
strength sort of thing, or like if you have to lift a heavy object or endure
Okay.
like something, that's all within the break. It's sort of like the not necessarily unskilled, but like it is your anything that directly impacts your physical endurance or strength or something like that. That you
Okay, I understand.
know, yeah, lifting a rock, holding your breath, throwing, yeah, actually breaking something in half. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
We had to call it something.
he's. See, you haven't learned yet, furball. Try this on for size and just swing the club again.
Yeah, swing that club again. This
be-
dog is, you just get any success because you've been whittling this dog's stats down with your
Okay, so
attacks.
just, the threshold is just 1 then.
Yeah, it's gone down. Like this will be the fourth. If you hit, this will be the fourth time it's been hit. So that'll
All
be.
right, then I'm going to go for 7 dice.
Oh my goodness!
But with 1 for reroll just in case.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, that's 2 successes.
2 successes. All right, so you wail on this dog again. I think it gives a more pronounced. Like it's gotten hit a couple times now. It is not. It is. I think this is going to be its. It gives a more yelping sort of like similar to the last time you hit it, but a little less. Like it's got no comeback this time. It's sort of like, oh, okay, and I think it is. It sort of like starts to slow down and like sort of is like maybe shaking its face a little bit to kind of like you've knocked it for a bit of it. There's some slobber involved. It's kind of and it starts doing the thing that dogs often do where they're kind of like trying to sneeze and like kind of clear their like and it's like shaking its head, and it's you are definitely now dramatically pulling away from the dog, as it's basically you've escaped from its immediate range of threat
Hope you
by
learned your
your attack.
lesson.
Yeah, right. I mean, you all were joyriding in his neighborhood, but
Well,
anyway,
he didn't be rude about it.
he didn't have to be rude about it. Yeah, right.
I mean, it's their nature to be territorial.
Exactly. Okay, so I think then we're going to come back to, so because you've escaped combat now with the dog, you're still on the street though, but I think this combat has gone on long enough that you're like coming to the end of this particular like block. So I'm going to throw it to Gerald. You're driving. What does it look like when you get to you've gotten past this little stretch of the greens? You're driving this thing, and it is what's next? What's up ahead? What does it look like? What does the city offer next? Is
Right,
what you're
okay.
what do you see next when you get to the end of this street?
Okay, so Gerald, is driving. There's like lampposts, so it's kind of like dark and then light, dark and light. And he gets to the end, and I feel like Gerald is looking over at Toronto like for directions of like where to go. I've just been like left, where, and then like right at the last second, like I don't know, Toronto is like, oh, go that way, and Gerald is kind of just like turns like really fast, and then with the back weight of Rufus, the back wheel just like yeah, just like skidding, like drifting around this curve.
Nice.
And glad we're on pavement, because if we weren't, we would be so we kind of skid around this thing while like in the background, the dog is kind of like
Yeah.
just driving off into the moonlight. And I'm gonna say out of a suburb, we're gonna go. Man, where could we go?
I mean, What's beyond the suburb, but more suburbs, right? I mean,
Right. I mean, there's always some more suburbs.
I mean, I was thinking not necessarily like on the scale of like a neighborhood, but like what's a I don't know. You could tell us what you see next. Whatever, what kind of
Oh.
building or what kind of like whatever. Just some
Mm.
details about what it looks like right at that
Okay.
moment. Or you want to say if you say that we've driven out of town into the desert, then that'll be a different story than we've been
No.
telling. But we'll go with it
No.
because that's how
I
this
think
works.
that like once we turn off like that road, we kind of go into more of we're still suburbs, but it's kind of like we're going into the lower end where it's kind of like smaller houses and looks, a little bit rougher, which is kind of like, what we're used to as raccoons of like that's kind of like what we like. And this is like, oh yeah, we're getting to
Feeling real close to home now.
yeah, it's kind of, there's like one story, houses, kind of fenced in areas and it's not, cutesy, Mayberry, but it's more, downtown, Louisville. You'd get that reference,
Sure.
So yeah.
Okay, excellent. All right, so I think let's see. All right, so there's I think the next thing that you all will encounter is that there's a I think there's a situation where you are the city. You talked about it being lowered down, so there's like a city. There's like a split sort of a hill. There's like a hill, and it's not been sort of like smoothed out, right? So there's sort of a almost like a terraced sort of area that you reach, right, where there's the guardrail, and you kind of have to go down around this thing. So you're at like a cliff sort of area, right? And there's you could take the long way around. And I know what you want to do, Gerald, because it's like it's a thing. So it's like there's kind of like you can't go forward from where you are, right? Because there's this
Okay.
drop off, right? And there's like
Right.
a railing, not a railing, but like a guardrail, right? Like this metal barrier is blocking off the street. But it like because you're now close enough to home, like it goes there's like kind of a long way that goes down this hill. There's almost like a ramp, right, that goes this big arc around a whole section of the city, and you can just take that and you'll get down to this lower level. If you wanted to continue to ride in the car. But like where you're going is basically like right down below you, and you could just like hop in, you could stop, you could hop in this like sewer pipe, and you just like ride on down, right down the slope, right? And you'll be at the lower level. But like there's no way that you can like get this vehicle through that, so
Right.
you're all sort of like aware of this geography, right? That like
Yeah.
so like that's the situation you find yourself in. You've got an opportunity to shortcut yourself, be almost home, or you can take a longer way around. So it's up to you. It's up to you. That's where you are. So you could discuss like escaping the dog. Like that's the scene where you are. You've escaped from the dog. You're at this point. You realize you're at this like kind of crossroads, and that's where you're at right now.
All right. I think Gerald stomps on the brake. And he looks back and he's like, left, right, where are we going?
Toronto will consult the oracle, and he says, all right, we have to go past Stakey's house. And have we passed Stakey's house?
Why are you looking at me?
Isn't that the pipe right down there that we can go to get home?
Yeah.
No, I think that is Kenneth's house. I recognize house. I think that's Kenneth's house. We can go to home through Kenneth's house.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I mean,
Turd?
we can just leave the car here. I mean,
Tord?
No!
unless Gerald
We
wants.
need to take this.
I want the car.
It is. It completes me. I feel a need. A
Oh.
need
for speed.
for swiftness.
Is the pipe that we are looking to take large enough to take the car?
No,
Is it-
no.
No.
It
Yeah.
is comfortably big enough for even Rufus to slide down. I'm imagining like a corrugated tin, sort of like it's kind of like a drainage thing for this upper level, and it goes down, and you can enter it right here. This is something you've probably all done at some point in the past, where the it's got kind of a grate on the top of it, but it's not that secure, and like the water flows in, and then it goes at like pretty steep angle down this embankment. But it's like a big fun water slide. It's also got the corrugated ridges, so you can climb up it if you want to come up this way. This is a known route, but it's definitely not something that you can get the car into. So
Now we could get the car down there in pieces. I'd be happy to break it.
pieces. There's lots of options. There's lots of options, and I don't know, Tirana, if you were like, if those were probably more references that got past me there. So your proposal of the goals that you have to make and the signposts along the way, those are been put out there too. So
I think I
No,
think
go
that
ahead.
Gerald, he's made up his mind. He wants the car and he
Hmm.
wants to go down. So he's kind of looking back to make sure that everyone's on board. And if they want to part, but if you all agree and nod your heads, then
Ride or die. Let's go.
all right. And then I think when he gets that nod, he looks ahead and gets a gleam in his eye and he goes, "Speed. I am speed." And he presses the pedal.
Excellent. All right. So I think that I'm looking at my prepared notes here, and I'm not sure that anything that we've done leads naturally next.
Never does.
That's why I'm stumbling a little bit on what comes next.
I wonder if
Mhm.
because the nature of these power wheels is
Yeah.
that their batteries suck.
It's true. It's true.
It's true.
And if it was left outside, that
Um,
meant some kid was playing in it for a
So-
good part of the time.
Perhaps what we find ourselves, the position we find ourselves in, is that I am speed. You punch the accelerator, and like the whole thing tips up because again of the weight in the back.
Yeah.
The whole thing tips up for a second, lurches forward like twice, and then like you can hear like the headlights dim, and like the whole thing just goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick up on that. Thank you, Michael. And I think that is what it is like a it's then a battle, right? So like the lights start to dim, the speed is decreasing. You're continuing on. You're so like hopeful that you just want to bring it.
I don't think any of us have any experience with this, so like it, what
You're like
what is happening right now?
right. Just
Yeah.
keep pushing
Yeah.
this pedal down, and it'll keep moving forward, right? And it does,
Yeah.
but it is definitely like a long, slow. Like it probably takes about, let's say, about half of the time to get around to where you would be down, and it is getting slower and slower all the time, and almost like not like the comedy of like there, by the time you are done with this, there are like other creatures of the night that are like walking faster than your car is is driving, right? By the time it actually does finally like no more oomph in it. So I think you've gotten it a lot further along, but like this is something that your perhaps will have to be studied more or whatever. But it does not seem that no matter where Tirana pushes the little slider dials on the dashboard, no further progress can be made in the vehicle. But
Okay.
I think so. I think where you find yourself now as you have come around partway down the hill, almost to home, but not quite there yet. I think you find yourself in a like a brownfield sort of site, like a it's a gravel open area, and it is there's a light that is one of those lights that sometimes you see this in the city. This is in real life, right? Where they've put the sensor on the light in such a way that like it's underneath the light, and so like when the light turns on, the sensor detects that it's light, and then it turns the light off, and then so you just like it spends all night like being on and off and
Like
on and off.
it's flickering itself on and off just from
Yes, exactly. And so this is a situation that you find yourself in. This gravelly lot. It's got the weird like little spiky plants that are just growing up through the gravel in certain areas, and this light that's supposed to be like kind of covering the entrance of this place, but it's really more like kind of almost in the middle of this gravel lot. There's this just blinking light that is just going on and off, like on this world. It's going at a faster cycle than they go in real life. But anyway, the it's got this strobe effect, right? And that's you basically like you're driving the little power wheels. This is where you are. You've arrived at this lot. It is no more juice in the tank, no more juice in the batteries. Not that you understand any of that stuff anyway. Not until you have to study it at your leisure. This is between sessions. You'll study it, I'm sure. And so you look over into this lot, and there is a there's a I'm looking. So there's a group of opossums that are in this light, right? And they have appropriated this field as like a there's a bunch of them, like 20 or so of these possums, and they are in this field, in this lot right under this light, and it is they're like they've formed a ring around it, and they're taking turns like doing dance moves in this light, right? And so but you guys pull up in this car, and like they all kind of like stop and look at you like, oh, are you here? Like, and so you've got like your attention has been attracted to you've been noticed by like a bunch of possums, and like there's an opossum that has done like a sort of spin move thing, somehow touching his toes, leaping up, and everybody's cheering. And then like here comes the hot rod full of raccoons that stops and like stops up at this mess, and you basically, all these opossums are looking at you all. So like there's one of them who's got like kind of opossums have kind of like a screaming visage in the best of times, but this one's got like extra sort of like like spiked up hair, like really looking wild, but it's got like almost like it's one of those like scrunchies for hair ties or whatever, but it's like on its head like a headband, right? And I'm imagining like a green soft sort of like thing as a headband, and this raccoon or this opossum like points at you all. It's like, are you here to dance? and this is the challenge that's been thrown out to you right at this moment.
Ooh.
And you maybe you're not. Maybe you want to leave. I don't know. This is just I'm trying to integrate some other things into this. So anyway, you're
Would
I
we,
th-
since
I
we're
th-
so
no, go ahead, Sean.
Since we're so close to home, would we know these possums at all?
yeah. I mean, this is like this is the Fosse Possum.
Okay.
These are the
Fosse-
the
Fosse
Fosse Possum
Possums?
part of. Yeah, this is the Fosse Possum posse. Like, they're here to dance.
I'd be like, "Yo, Larry, nice dance move. I see you've been
Aw.
practicing."
He's like,
Oh.
thanks. What do you got?
Oh, I got it. You know I can bring it.
And then he like steps back and like points to the like circle of light. Like,
I feel like this is a situation where Torg looks at Rufus, but then also looks over at Tirana like,
Oh,
showtime. This is your time to shine.
to me?
Yeah, well, to I think to Rufus and Tirana, like both of you, like
I think yeah, because
this is clearly not Torg's. This is clearly not Torg's
Mm.
bailiwick, as it were.
I'm
Torg's
assuming
got no moves.
I'm
Torg's
assuming
got
if
no
I'm
moves.
going to try to move, this would be wriggle.
Yes. If you
Yeah.
accept the challenge of
I
the Fosse
accept.
Possum posse,
I accept.
then yeah, we're gonna enter a we're gonna enter a special.
Is this a wriggle off?
It could be. You could use a couple different things. So you could use straight up scrap, or you could use inflame, or wriggle, or lore. Any of those things are acceptable, like options to show off what you've got, your movement, or your way to inspire, or maybe you've studied, the I've studied my dance moves, so that's where lore comes in. But you right. So
Okay.
this is a option that you can take on.
I am going to try wriggle.
All right.
And so I'm going to roll 4, which I've got 2 left over for a re-roll and to buy a pip if I need it. And actually, I want to buy an extra dice. So I am going to use one of, hold on, make sure I've got this right. I'm going to use my glory card, which is a spade, for my reputation, because I'm not going to let these possums show our crew up. I'm going to show them who's the top Nightcrawler. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Love that. You got to think of your reputation.
Exactly. Our reputation's on the line. So are we shooting for any score? Or are we just gonna see
yeah, you want to get a 5 is the goal here. Like,
5
you
successes?
gotta really bring it to impress
All
these
right.
possums.
Can Tirana help out at all?
Right. So this is my other question. Like, who else is gonna go? This is a crew. This is a
Mhm.
if you want to enter as a crew, like, this is a thing. Or whatever. Who else is coming up to go with Rufus?
If I can help without dancing, I don't think my old paws wants to try to take on the young ones. But if I can help without dancing, is there music? Is there any
I was
sort
gonna
of
say,
music?
what about like a beatbox situation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! If Tirana with Tirana's skill at orating, I'm sure Tirana does a mean beatbox.
100%.
Yeah, they have like I think they have. I mean, the possums like have used some technology. There's a like a you know a, a
I think.
rig,
Oh
a
no no!
Walkman that has been
Oh.
like hooked up to like some car speakers.
The possums have like an old Casio keyboard. They have figured out how batteries work just to power the keyboard, and they know to hit the demo button.
The Roomba or the Rumba button.
Oh my
They
God!
know
they're
that they
trash
can get
Vulcans.
music by hitting the demo button.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Works.
All right, so there's some music available, and like you said, you can add some beats if you want. I will give that. That's yeah. I don't even know what that would be. That would be probably the lore skill. No, the talk isn't talking. Speaking isn't that a skill?
Speak. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
speak
got a
is a
couple in
skill.
speak.
So I think that's an acceptable like way to spin that.
Awesome.
So in this situation, we both roll separately and then combined our successes.
I think what we're gonna do is like you'll each contribute sort of like I mean if you want to do like an assist roll, then we'll do it that way, or if you want to kind of both be sort of making your own contributions to the you'll need a number of successes to kind of impress the party. So of possums. So like you can combine to make one more impressive thing, but that's only one tick to impress them.
Yeah.
If you each are impressing them in separate ways,
I kind of like this impressing in separate ways.
yeah,
Okay.
you could do it either way you want. I think.
All right, let's go. All right, spending 1 for reroll. Ooh. Okay, so I've got 1 more dice. I can reroll again, or I can buy a pip.
You're looking for 5, whatever way you want to
So if
try
I-
and make it happen.
If I spend a pip, then that gives me 3 successes.
All right, so that is not enough. So,
Well, but if we're combining, though, I thought, so we're each separately trying to impress.
well, I thought that's what you said you wanted to try and do. But
I
if
thought we
you,
were. Yeah, but I got 1 more reroll, so I can do the reroll. Or is that only once per turn?
you can only reroll once per
Gotcha.
skill roll.
Yeah, I only got 3 successes.
All right, so you come out strong. We'll say that you're eager, right, to jump out of the car and get into the strobe light,
My
and
legs asleep.
while the Casio beat bloops, you try some stuff, but it's sort of like Fosse is like, we've seen this. He's like you kind of like do your little opening move, and he's like, we've seen this before, right? So then by the time this little initial thing has happened, now Tirana has gotten out of the car, and you've been kind of like coming to help. So you're there now, and if you want to lay down a beat with your speak roll, maybe Rufus can try again.
Okay, so I have 2 in speak, and I have 3 in smart, so I have 5 total. I would
Cool.
like to roll 4 and keep 1 for any rerolls or anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And again, if you have glory, you can spend glory as well.
It's true.
Oh, thank you. I do have some glory, so that's a 1, that's a fail. So that's a 1, that's a fail.
So yeah, did you only got 1 success? All right. Or
yeah,
that's okay.
So I rolled a 1, I got a fail. I rolled a 1, I got a fail. I rolled a 3, that's a fail. I rolled a 6, that's a success. I'm going to spend 1 to re-roll one of the fails.
You get to re-roll all of
of
your
them.
failures. You get
All
to
of
re-roll all your.
Oh, thank you. That's
why it's only once per time. You
Ooh,
get to
There you
re-roll
go.
all of
It's
them.
4.
Okay, so there's 4, and I did not roll. So that's 3. I did not roll that one. I'm going to spend a glory to re-roll to roll that one.
Well,
That's
Well,
okay.
You can only
Yeah,
re-roll.
you can only re-roll once per skill attempt. So,
Gotcha. Okay, so
yeah.
never mind. So that's 1, 2,
not even
3
with the card
successes.
spent.
but if you wanted to spend the glory, he could still spend the glory to re-roll that extra one he would have bought. He just wouldn't be able to re-roll it. No? Yes?
I have not followed all of the permutations of this whole skill roll, so
Fair.
I I don't know. Tell me how many
Okay.
successes you've got.
I've got 3 successes.
Awesome. So I think I'm gonna say that lays down a beat that is, it's no Casio keyboard, but it's unique. It's something different. I'm not gonna make you beatbox unless you really want to
Can
as a
I?
player. If you want to attempt it as a player, please grace us with this.
Oh, please,
All right.
Kyle. Please beatbox.
I go back to my formal training as a diviner in the Great Pile. Something I learned from my youth in order to help me, reach out and convene with the universe. A chant that
Didn't you
starts low in your throat.
you learned at the feet of Reverend Run, if I remember right?
I did. And it goes something like this. Hamburger, cheeseburger, foot long, hot dog, hamburger, cheeseburger, foot long, hot dog, hamburger, cheeseburger, foot long, hot dog. But it's that low Tibetan throat singing, so it just you feel it more in your toes than in your ears.
All right. You get some nods from the posse crew, from the possums.
Yeah, it's it's repetitive, it's monotonous, but it does kind of make you think that you can start moving and grooving.
Yeah. All right. Then
The trash must flow.
the trash must flow. Great. So I think this is something different. This is not what this is no Casio keyboard in a good way. This is something different. So back to you then, Rufus, if you want to try and pick up on this vibe, it's got this is something, I mean, maybe you two have practiced before, but this is not you're gonna have to go for a low and slow sort of performance here to match what Tirana is putting down.
Let's see. So let's see. Can I do I have to do the same role, or can I take a different approach?
Yeah,
At this point?
take what. Yeah, I think a different approach is whatever you want, or you could try the same but describe it in a different way.
So I'm gonna go with scrap because it's just gonna be a better role for our
Sure.
success. And instead of like what I was envisioning, what Rufus was doing before was like some kind of mixture of breakdancing with capoeira, that kind of motion. Instead, when the chant starts, I start bobbing my head and I just start doing a barbarian stomp. I'm just like stomping my feet, pounding the ground with my club, like
Okay.
matching the beat, adding to it, just going into the berserk rage.
All right. I love it. Let's see how that rolls out for you.
That's 3, 4, 5.
Again, you're trying to get a 5 is the target number here.
So I'm rolling 6 to start with, which gives me some wiggle room. Oh, wow, not a lot of wiggle room. All right, re-rolling.
I believe it's wriggle room, not wiggle room.
Wriggle,
right.
wiggle. They're so similar.
So I've
They're
got
so close.
4 successes. I rolled a 4. I still have an extra pip, so I'm bumping that up to a 5. So that gives me
There you
5
go. 5 successes. All right. So this is this is something new. There's a little bit of we don't know how to react to this, but basically the important thing here is that Fosse with his green headband leans in close and he's like, "You raccoons are all right." And he does he puts his fingers in his mouth, he gives a whistle. The crew is going to carry your Power Wheels down the hill. The rest they're going to carry it, and and there's a gate at the back of this lot, right? That kind of they bring it into the lot. They go through this entrance that you've never seen them use before, or you've never used it before, right? But it's almost like they pull apart the chain link fence at the back of this lot, and there's a short little hill down, and it goes down into the little thing, and they're carrying this thing, and presumably you're all following. This is they're giving you this shortcut through their dance field, and because we haven't featured you yet, Kyle, as giving like a scene. Why don't you tell us the way home was through like Kevin's house or something? I don't know what you were trying to put down there, but like
Kenneth's
tell us
house.
what home looks like when you see it. Now that it's like almost dawn, you've made it all the way here. Tell us what home looks like. Where do you raccoons make your home base? Why don't you set that scene for us?
Absolutely. Now, first off, Tirana has to be raised from his like deep, semi-hypnotic meditation state where his eyes are just rolled back in his head. He has not stopped chanting, even as everyone's like, "Yeah, no, we're good." They have to lift him and put him into the car, and he's still chanting. But eventually, it wears off. Just as they round the corner, and I'm presuming the possums have to carry the power wheels like a beer, like they've got sticks underneath it, and they're like on both sides, like carrying.
I mean, I was
it through.
imagining more like many hands make light work. They're all just kind of lifting by the wheels and the rims or whatever. I don't know if it's quite beer level, but
All right,
yeah,
so
I get what you're saying.
absolutely.
Are you going to be in the Do you want them to
I'm
carry
sitting.
you?
Yeah,
Oh boy.
I'm on the back.
Okay,
And it's finally that's what kind of rouses Tirana out of the stupor. There is a city dump. You see,
okay.
that is not where we bode. That is where bears and things are. But there is a very nice junkyard across the road from the dump. It is called Dom's Auto Body. And as the first rays of the rising sun crest over the hills and scorch the cornfields for miles around on this side of suburbia, you can see the attempting to be retro sign lit up in the fiery orange and yellow. As we're being brought over, we can see that there is activity as the raccoons that live in the junkyard begin covering up their trails from the night before. If you've ever seen Matilda with Danny DeVito, the scene in the classroom where they're transforming it back to like just dull, it's the same thing. There's cars like burnt out wrecks with roofs, their hoods open up and like complex mathematical formulas carved in like chalk on that gets slammed shut. The raccoons disperse as they see something new coming towards them, some strange shape, before it reveals it to be us, triumphant in our reconnaissance. And as we move through, there is a hole in the chain link fence that is probably older than even Tirana, who is getting up there. It is lifted up, and we are let through. I imagine that there's even like a couple of domesticated junkyard dogs, who are kept fat and happy off of the scraps that the raccoons give them for protection. And as the power wheels, the newest crown jewel of the home, is lowered down, Tirana reflects that it is important to draw garbage from many different sources. If we take it from only one alley, it becomes rigid and stale. Of course, he doesn't say this out loud. His throat's kind of sore from all the chanting, but it's good to be home.
Excellent. And then to the rest of you, what kind of details do you want to add to your triumphant return to your junkyard, where apparently you've lived and your community is there? Fair amount of garbage returned from the successful journeying. Not as much as you started with, but probably not bad for a night's run. What do you What are there any other details you want to add about like your homecoming to the rest of you as well?
Go ahead.
Gerald, he's kind of like following the procession, and like in his eyes when they like raise up the chain link fence, it's like this like it's like Lord of the Rings where they have the swords over and the hobbits are walking underneath, and it's like
Yeah.
this big procession, and he's like he thinks everyone's listening to him, so he's like, one small step for garbage, one giant leap for glory.
Excellent.
You're muted.
Yeah,
Sean?
Sean, you're muted.
I
Sean.
went from unmuted to muted. That's always fun. I think for Rufus, he follows along the procession until they get to where he lives. And he kind of breaks off, flops into a recliner, but it's not like a full size recliner. It's like a toddler size recliner that you can buy for your kids. And there's like a broken TV in front of it because that's what he's seen the ogres do. There's like a little tarp awning to keep the rain off, and then he just rummages in his in the trash that they got, pulls out I don't know a soda can and a half-eaten moldy sandwich, and like just sits there and enjoys his spoil, both pun and not pun intended.
There you go. Love it. All right. Where I'll remember these names eventually, but it's almost the end. Torg. Torg is your name. Torg, what do you got? What details about your homecoming do you want to add?
I think Torg finds himself like coming as we're approaching home again. Torg starts like kind of smooth, like running his little fingers through his mullet, like trying to smooth it out and kind of puff it out a little bit. Smooths out the top. Um, he's kind of like trying to straighten up his gear. In the throng of the other raccoons that are kind of greeting us on our return back. Um, like there is a raccoon toward the back of the group that he kind of beelines toward. Um, and and there is a scene like the camera pulls back a little bit and you don't hear anything. You don't hear their exchange. Uh, but they are kind of talking back and forth. You see him reach back into his pack and pull out that the bike mirror that he found, and he kind of kneels and like hands it up to her,
Mm,
and she takes it, and um, she's like looking at it and looking at it, and then he takes it back from her and just holds it up in front of her. Um, and you can see him like pointing at her and pointing at the mirror, and um and she starts to get a little teary eyed and takes the mirror back, and then there's a big hug.
Oh.
excellent. All right, and then we've done it. You've arrived home safe through the many trials and tribulations of this one particular night. This will be a story for the ages. You'll tell other people, and that this was just the first telling of it. So thank you for playing Garbage and Glory, the four of you. Thank you for bringing the fun and the references and the ideas, playing real loose, fast and loose with me today. This is it's been a lot of fun. So so I'm gonna set you up for a couple things. We're gonna close out the stream, but we're gonna tell people where they can find each of us on the internets. If you have other channels that you're on, other projects you want to promote real quick, and then but also I want to ask you to kind of as a coda for the game, what kind of like if we were playing another session of this game, you'd be able to spend some of your cards to buy new equipment. Your garbage cards can turn into new equipment. Your glory cards can turn into levels up. When you get leveling up, you can take a new title because part of the game is your all your titles that you have. So I want you to think about a title that you might take based on this adventure. Like what's something a new title that you would want your raccoon to be known as for this title. or for based on this adventure, if you were to level up at the end here, whatever, you all level up, great. But if you, what title will you take based on the adventure, and then then for you in real life, where can people find you if they want to track down you on the internet? So and then I'll go last, and I'll close this out for the stream. So
All right.
yeah. I don't know if we want to go.
Why don't we take the order we've been doing, Sean?
Sure.
Oh, he's muted.
You're muted again, Sean. You're out of sync. You're out of sync with your finger clicks.
Dang it.
It's been a day. That's fine.
So I mean, Rufus's current name is Rufus Scalebreaker.
Yeah.
Which we didn't get into that because when he was kidnapped by animal control and they tried to weigh him, it broke the scale.
I mean, that was implied with his mass, and you bring it in. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
So I think since we impressed the possums with the dance off, he's going to be Rufus Scalebreaker, Lord of the Trash Stomp. That's the new dance style.
That's good.
And then
I love that.
if you want, and if people want to, when I'm not here streaming, I do paint miniatures, and you can see me on Instagram at Bink_26.
There you go. Miniature painter. Thank you for playing today.
Oh, thank you for guiding us. It was great.
Yeah. Is it
I think it's you next.
Yep,
Yeah,
it's
All right.
you next, Gerald.
I think that Gerald, his new title is Baby Driver.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
That was a good one. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have any socials. I'm kind of just here for a good time and a fun time. So yeah, it was really fun. Thank you very much, Matthew. And this system's really fun. So
glad you liked it. Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
What about you? Obviously, you're Kyle. What's up, Kyle?
Hello.
Obviously,
my name is
you're Kyle.
I am obviously Kyle.
Yeah.
So my name's Kyle O'Brien. I like Ezra. I don't have many social medias, but I am on Rook and Rasp on the Discord. So if you need anything, you can hit me up there. I also have a Start Playing Games account as Canoe Space DM. That's CANOE space DM. I have been playing Tirana Rabdos, the Round of Shape, and I think that after this adventure, his new additional title shall be The Navigator.
Nice. Love it. So good.
Well, I guess that brings you to me.
It brings us all to you, Michael.
So to me. Torg, I think from the adventures we've had today, let's see. I think Torg is going to go with his previous title was Glorious Hands, and that was due to a juggling mishap. But I think today we're going to go with Torg. Torg the Eagle Eye.
Nice.
Eagle-eyed. With the two really good shots he made today. I think that helps him out a bit. And as far as myself, again, I'm Michael. You can see me here on Rook and Rasp on a number of productions. I sit in with a lot of the Seriously Let's Plays as an additional player at times. You can find me on the show Smuggler's Blues, also here on Rook and Rasp on every other Tuesday when our schedules are working. It's a Star Wars actual play that we've been doing as a podcast for a number of years, and now we have turned it into a live play, a live stream. You can also find me on the show Tubular Teens with Titans, which is a Power Rangers inspired audio drama. I get to play the team mentor and their former big bad turned team mentor, which is a lot of fun. Get to chew a lot of scenery in that. And yeah, you can. I'm also on. Recently, I joined the cast of Masked Rider, the audio drama, as the narrator for the show. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm kind of all over the place. I don't really do socials much either. I'm Loser MLW on socials if you see me posting, but Discord for me most likely. So
he's cool. He goes to karaoke night.
I do carry. I will be doing that again this evening. So we'll see.
There you go. All right. Again, thank you for playing. I didn't tell you specifically, Kyle. Thank you for playing. Michael, thank you for playing.
Yeah.
And thank you, everyone who's watched this. We've seen you commenting in the chat. We've seen you on the watching the thing. So appreciate all that, the participation. Thank you for your support of Rook and Rasp. And I've been Matthew Orr of Wet Ink Games. You can find us at Wet Ink Games at most of the socials and the YouTube and the Instagram and those kind of things. That's where I put a lot of content out about our games and our products. So, it's been a pleasure to narrate this game. Thank you again to Rick and Ras for hosting it, and we will see you all in the next one.
Thanks.
How does
Thanks
John
so
end
much
out?
for running. Thanks
Yeah.
so
Thank
much
you.
for running,
Thank
Matthew.
Thank you.
This was wonderful.
It ends right with like, seriously, guys, let's play. All right, that's how it ends. Something like that. Seriously.